Oh, oops. Totally wrong. That was literally the wrong. I chose the wrong scene. That's my bad. Hi everyone! Hello, hello, hello! We are back again for another reading tonight. I was honestly, not really sure if I should continue reading Dork Diaries or if I wanted to read something different this time around, but ultimately I decided that I wanted to read Dork Diaries because we already read the first installment in one sitting, so I figured, you know what? We could read the second one too, y'all. We could read the second one too. But if you guys were here last time for the last ASMR reading, then you guys are probably aware that yeah, I'm gonna be doing everything kind of like ASMR-esque, very relaxing. I want this to be the type of stream that people click on and that they could have as background noise that they could fall asleep to, etc., etc. That's kind of like my point in having like these nighttime bedtime readings, especially like doing like these little nostalgic readings of childhood books. I want it to kind of feel like it's lulling you to bed. Like, kind of think of me as like a sweet mother lulling her child to bed. That's me with you guys. But happy Friday, everyone. I hope you guys are doing well. If you guys had work, I'm so excited for you guys. You guys are having the weekend off. If you are in America, then you're also going to be having a 4-day weekend because you're going to be having Martin Luther King Day off. So, even more happy news. I actually had a 5-day weekend because yesterday I actually didn't have work either. So, it was a very pleasant surprise. I didn't know I wasn't going to be working yesterday. So, when I found out, I was just like, oh wow. And I was kind of, if you guys were there for stream yesterday, I kind of mentioned it. I was kind of grinding yesterday. I made like a whole logo. I, um, I was drawing a lot. I drew like some ideas I had in mind for different projects. I finished up a lot of my, song, like group cover things, that I needed to get done. And I only really have solo cover stuff to worry about right now. So, I'm overall just very, very happy about being able to get a lot of things done so far. But yeah, so this is gonna be kind of relaxing reading. I already have the ebook and everything pulled up, and as always, if there is like a silly looking illustration, don't worry, guys. I'll be sure to show it. And if you ever come in here at like a later time and you're just rewatching it now, like VOD wise, to catch up, that's totally a-okay. And yeah, and throughout the video, if anyone pops in and is like, oh darn, I missed some of it, I'll always keep my VOD up. I still need to upload my first book reading. I'll be sure to do that for you guys in case you guys missed that. I'll upload it on my YouTube. I've kind of been slacking and uploading on my YouTube lately, so I'll be sure to do a better job this time. But yeah, be on the lookout for more NEIRU content. I'm trying to edit more clips and stuff like that and shorts. And I would say TikTok, but we're kind of unsure of the future about that. So so it's like, and I don't know. But expect more and more original NEIRU content to come out. Hopefully,
You're
as we
hot.
try to reach 1K.
I love you.
Yeah, thank you so much for the follow. You're so hot and sexy. Thank you. And yay, we met our follower goal. Woohoo! I'm so happy. But yeah, guys, feel free to sit back, arrange yourself with like a little snack or a drink, a hot drink preferably, like tea. Pull yourself under the covers and just keep this on and lull yourself to sleep. Or just relax. Whatever vibes with you. Well, without further ado, let's get reading, shall we? So we are going to be reading none other than the amazing Dork Diaries, Tales from a Not-So-Popular Party Girl by Rachel Renee Russell. And this is book 2 in the Dork Diaries series. Friday, October 11th. I can't believe this is happening to me. I'm in the girls' bathroom freaking out. Also, hello, Zama says. Hello. Welcome in. Thank you so much for stopping by. There's no way I'm going to survive middle school. I've just made a complete fool of myself in front of my secret crush. Again, frowny face. And if that wasn't bad enough, I still stuck with a locker right next to Mackenzie Hollister's frowny face. who, by the way, is the most popular girl at Westchester Country Day Middle School and a total snob. Calling her a mean girl is an understatement. She's a killer shark in sparkly nail polish, designer jeans, and platform Skechers. But for some reason, everyone adores her. And as promised, here's a little illustration. Over here, Mackenzie. Me and the guys made you lunch and saved you a seat. Thanks, hun. I'd love to sit at the nerd table, but I haven't had a cootie shot. Sorry. And look at these guys. These guys look like just average isekai protagonist, am I right? It's either average isekai protagonist or average hentai protagonist. There's really no in between, to be honest. Alright. Mackenzie and I do not get along. I'm guessing it's probably due to the fact that she hates my guts, frowny face. She is forever gossiping behind my back and saying super mean stuff like that I have no fashion sense whatsoever and that our school mascot, Larry the Lizard, wears cuter clothes than I do. Which might actually be true. But still, I do not appreciate that girl blabbing about my personal business. This morning, she was even more vicious than usual. OMG, Nikki. Could you please go write in that diary somewhere else? Your hideous green shirt is clashing with my new lip gloss flavor, and it's giving me a migraine. I could not believe she actually said that to me.
I love you.
Thank you so much for the follow. You're so hot and sexy. Thank you. Also, hello, little beastman. Welcome in. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you. To clarify for anyone that's just stopping in, right now I am reading Dork Diaries Book 2, Tales from a Not So Popular Party Girl, and Dork Diaries is a kid series. I feel like I have to make that kind of clear before anyone comes in and is wondering, as they're listening to the story, what the hell is this about? It's an adolescent girl story series, so you seem like a Hello Kitty fan. Good observation. Yes, indeed. If only I could show you my 1.0 outfit. But yes, Hello Kitty and Sanrio, they are indeed my life. I love them with all my heart. Tuxedo Sam is my number one fave, but Hello Kitty always holds a dear place in my heart, especially my child heart. So she's like my OG. She's like my OG Sanrio character, so I wanted, since she's kind of been such a huge part of my life, I wanted to kind of how do I say it? I wanted to kind of give an homage to her in my 1.0 outfit, which is unfortunately not the outfit I'm sporting on right now. It's not the model I'm sporting on right now, but it's one of my other models I have. Also, hello Venom HQ, welcome in. Hello. I hope you are doing well. Thank you so much for stopping by. Alright guys, let's continue back to the reading, okay? I cannot believe she actually said that to me. I mean, how can a color clash with a flavor? Duh, they're like two totally different, things. That's when I lost it and yelled, "Sorry, Mackenzie, but I'm really busy right now. Can I ignore you some other time?" Ooh, burn. Really got him there, Nikki. Wow. But I just said it inside my head, so no one else heard it but me. She always does this, guys. She always does this. And if all that isn't enough torture, the annual WCD Halloween dance is in 3 weeks. It's the biggest event of the fall, and everyone is already gossiping about who's going with who. I'd just totally die if my secret crush, Brandon, asked me to go. Yesterday, he actually asked me to be his lab partner for biology class. I was so excited. I did my Snoopy happy dance. And I'm sure if you guys know the character Snoopy from Peanuts, you know the little dance he does. She basically just does a similar equivalent to it. That's pretty much what the illustration is. And today, I had a sneaking suspicion Brandon was going to pop the question about the Halloween dance. The school day seemed to drag on forever. By the time I got to biology class, I was a nervous wreck. Suddenly, a very troubling question popped into my head, and I started to panic. What if Brandon only thought of me as a lab partner and nothing more? That's when I decided to try to impress him with my charm, wit, and intelligence. I gave him a big smile and went right to work drawing all these teeny tiny lint-looking thingies I saw under the microscope. And let me pull it up for you guys. It's literally just like the most tiniest doodles. Literally just little scribbles. Out of the corner of my eye, I could see Brandon staring at me with this urgent yet very perplexed look on his face. It was obvious he wanted to talk to me about something super serious. Smiley face. Alright, and then let me show you guys this illustration. And then for those of you guys that aren't familiar with the DORK Diary series, if you guys know what Diary of a Wimpy Kid is, or any of those like childhood diary entry, like kind of like esque children's books, it's basically a similar format to those series. And then, Nikki, can I ask you a really important question that'll, probably impact our immediate future? Yes, Brandon, please ask me. Do you think we need to plug this thing in? Those thingies in the microscope really were just lint. OMG, I was so embarrassed. I knew right then and there I had pretty much blown any chance of Brandon asking me to the dance. But the good news was, I had made a startling scientific discovery about the biogenetics of my intelligence, and even reduced it to a working formula. And then let me show you guys this doodle. She literally just compares her IQ to a dirty sock. Then things got even worse. I was in the girls' bathroom when I overheard Mackenzie bragging to her friends that she was practically almost 99.9% sure she and Brandon were going to the dance together as Edward and Bella from Twilight. I was very disappointed, but not the least bit surprised. I mean, why would Brandon ask a total dork like me when he could go with a CCP, cute, cool, and popular, girl like Mackenzie? And get this! As they were leaving, Mackenzie giggled and said she was buying a new lip gloss just for Brandon. I knew what that meant. I was so frustrated and angry at myself. I waited until the bathroom was empty, and then I had a really good scream. And indeed, the bathroom was not empty. And she's just startling all these like random pedestrians trying to just wash their hands. Which, for some reason, always makes me feel a lot better, smiley face. Middle school could be very traumatizing, that's for sure. But the most important thing to remember is this. Always remain calm and try to handle your most personal problems in a private and mature manner. Me having a private scream fest. Then oh my gosh. Oh, we got a little bald redeem. I gotta remember to turn it off in like about 5 minutes. So about like 10:23. I gotta remind myself. Saturday, October 12th. Today has been the most exciting day ever. I still can't believe I actually won first place in a $500 cash prize in our school's avant-garde art competition, smiley face. Last week, without even telling me, Chloe, Zoe, and Brandon entered photos of the tattoo designs I had drawn for kids at school. So I totally freaked out when I found out I had won. Who would have thunk I'd beat out Mackenzie's awesome fashion illustrations? Also, by the way, it's I guess it's like to like show that she's like a really young girl because she put thunk and it's not thunk, it's thought. How can I focus on that story with that shiny bald head? Hey, Sama, you knew what you were getting into though, bro. You knew what you were getting into, now you gotta focus. I kind of look like number one from Code's Name to Kids Next Door now I think about it. You guys kind of see the vision, you know? Like balls got like glasses on. I mean, I guess number one has the sunglasses on, but still. If anyone here has watched Codename Kids Next Door on Cartoon Network. And boy was she ticked, especially after bragging to everyone that she was going to win. I can't wait to get my hands on all that money, not Walter White vibes. I've actually never watched Breaking Bad, I'm sorry guys. Hopefully this isn't a deal breaker for anyone, but yeah. I don't know, it's never piqued my interest. I guess it's not a show that's in my, that I guess like it's a show that I typically would go for to watch, but maybe I'll watch it in the near future. I know I've heard about those that watch it, that it's good, but I don't know, I just never got around to it. I had originally planned to use it to buy a cell phone, but I decided it would be more prudent to save it for art camp next summer. I'm investing in my dream of becoming an artist so I can spend all day curled up in bed in my fave PJs, drawing in my sketchbook, and actually get paid for it. Sweet smiley face. Alright. And then the illustration. Oops, let me scroll up a little bit more. Oh no, I'm gonna be late for work. I love my job. Time for dinner and TV. I'm totally exhausted, and then it just goes in a cycle. That's honestly so real though. I feel like this is me, but instead of having an actual job that I love, it's just streaming and VTubing. Although it would be kinda cool to use the money to fix up my very drab locker. Adding a little bling would guarantee me a spot in the CCP clique. And then, oh my gosh, actually, I think last time I was streaming DORK Diaries, they also mentioned locker decorating like this, like, and like in her locker here, it says it has an iPad stereo system or an iPod stereo system. You know, that's how old this thing is. Back when iPods were still a huge thing. A color TV and a computer monitor combo, a VCR DVD player, a personal ATM, and then her showing off her awesome locker. But yeah, we were kind of discussing it last stream as well. Like, I don't know, like I never really cared about. I never decorated my locker when I used to be in middle school and high school. I don't think anyone did. It's just too much of a hassle, and it's not like my school or any teachers would let us even like go in that early or go in before any time before school started to do so. I think the only like thing similar that we had that we got to do like make like custom was like in my senior year of high school. There was the option to have like the senior parking spots, and you could paint your own parking spot however you'd like. That's like the only like customization like thing that we had like in school. That was pretty much it. Anyway, practically the entire school was at the avant-garde art or was at the avant-garde art awards banquet today. That's a little bit of a handful to say, huh? Quite a handful to say. I was very shocked when Mackenzie came over and gave me a big hug. I think she only did it to make a good impression because what she said to me was not very sportsmanlike at all. Nikki, congratulations on winning first place, hun. If I had known the art show judges wanted talentless junk, I would have framed my poodle's vomit stains and entered it as an abstract art. OMG, I couldn't believe that she said that right to my face. She should have just scribbled, "I'm so jealous," across her forehead with a black marker. That probably would have been less obvious. I was like, "Thanks, Mackenzie. You're such a big baby. So cry me a river, build yourself a bridge, and get over it." Yeah, Nikki, you really showed her ass. But I just said it inside my head, so no one else heard it but me. Mainly because I'm a nice person and I don't like negative vibes. Me, whenever I say I'm not toxic, but I actually am. It had absolutely nothing to do with me being a little intimidated by her or anything. Chloe and Zoe sat right next to me during dinner, and as usual, we were acting really silly and having random giggle attacks. When Brandon came over to take a picture of me for the school newspaper and yearbook, I thought I was going to die. He suggested that we go to the atrium across the hall, where the lighting was better. At first, I was happy that Chloe and Zoe wanted to tag along because I was super nervous. But the entire time he was snapping pictures, they were standing right behind him, making kissy faces at me and acting all lovesick. OMG, it was so embarrassing. I was so angry, I wanted to grab them both by their necks and squeeze until their little heads exploded. Oh my god, Nikki. That's graphic. What the heck? Oh, she drew it. Oh my god, this is so cute. Yeah, I said it in the first Dork Diaries book reading, but yeah, the illustrations of this are very much like anime manga inspired, and they're just so cute. She has some minor anger issues, yo, bro. She's just like me for real. Can't blame her. Can't blame her. And I mean, she is in like what, the 8th grade, so you know, like puberty hitting and everything. It high key makes sense. She's hashtag just a girl. Am I right? But instead, I just gritted my teeth and prayed Brandon didn't notice them goofing around behind his back like that. Chloe and Zoe are really nice and sweet friends, but sometimes I feel like more like their babysitter than their BFF. Lucky for me, when they heard that dessert was being served, they rushed back to the banquet to pick out some more, which meant Brandon and I were all alone. Only it was kind of uncomfortable and a little embarrassing because instead of talking, we just stared at each other, and then the floor, and then at each other, and then the floor, and then at each other, and then the floor, and this went on for what seems like forever. Then, finally, he brushed his shaggy bangs out of his eyes and smiled at me kinda shy-like. I told you you were going to win. Congratulations! Also, hi Mel, welcome in, bae. For real, hashtag just a girl. Like, y'all, do not post this on BPD girl Twitter. AKA my Twitter. AKA my sided Twitter. I gazed into his eyes, and my heart started to pound so loudly. My toes were actually vibrating. Ooh, actually, guys, I have the perfect emote for this. Let's see. Let me work it in. I don't know if you guys can tell. I don't know if you guys can really tell, but I'm blushing right now. I have my little blush emote on. All right. Kind of like standing near a car blasting your favorite song, but with the windows rolled up. And you can't really hear the melody part, but your innermost soul can feel the vibrations from the bass part going thumpity thump, thumpity thump. And my stomach felt all fluttery, like it was being attacked by a huge swarm of very ferocious and yet fragile butterflies. I immediately realized I was suffering from a relapse of RCS, roller coaster syndrome. I clenched my teeth and mustered every ounce of strength in my body to keep myself from gleefully shouting, "Whee!" But instead, I uttered something far, far worse. Thanks, Brandon. Have you tried those cute little barbecued wingdings? They're actually quite delicious. Oh my god, girl. Girl is always fumbling. Girl is always fucking fumbling with her words. And she just has so much generational aura debt every single time she tries to pull out a flirty line. Oh my gosh, Sama, what are you trying to say? Especially in my bedroom, in this bedroom right now, what are you trying to say I'm doing? You dirty. That is either blind or dumb too. He's probably a little bit of both. From what I understand, he's also an oblivious little bit of a himbo vibe. So basically, overall, he and Nikki are meant for each other. Literally a match made in heaven, I would say. Did you just say wingdings? Yep, they're at the front table near the punch. We also have honey glazed and hot and spicy, but the barbecued ones are my favorite. Actually, no, I haven't tried them. Oh my goodness, I almost forgot to take this off. Oh, oops, I took my glasses off. There we go. Alright. Actually, no, I haven't tried them. Well, you really should. So, want to ask you something. About the wingdings? Come on, Nikki girl. Come on, girl. Brandon's face was intensely serious. No, actually, I want to know if you. I was holding my breath and hanging on to his every word. I mean, it would be totally cool if you would. Brandon! There you are! OMG, I've been looking for you everywhere. Mackenzie barged into the room and lunged straight for Brandon like an NFL linebacker, trying to recover a fumble ball. Not an NFL linebacker. That's oh my gosh. Whenever I look in the mirror and my arms just be looking like a little thick, especially if I'm wearing like a short sleeve top, I always say I'm like, dude, why do I look like an NFL linebacker right now? So it's just funny seeing that exact line also being said by Nikki. That's how I know that she's we're secretly on the same way. We're telepathically connected. As the official school photographer, you really need to get a picture of me posing with my Fab Forever fashion illustrations. They're about to take down my display. Then she just stood there, smiling at Brandon all googly-eyed, twirling her hair around her finger. Kick out that girl, right? No, this is a Mackenzie hate club. All my Mackenzie haters, where are you guys at? Praying for Mackenzie's downfall. I've been praying for her downfall ever since I was in elementary school, bro. No, they just had to interrupt right. She really knows how to ruin a moment for real. Which was obviously a desperate attempt to hypnotize him into doing her evil bidding. Brandon, please hurry, before it's too late, she whined breathlessly while glaring at me in total disgust, like I was this huge pimple that had suddenly popped out on her nose or something. Brandon rolled his eyes, sighed, and gave me this very goofy but cute smile. So, we'll talk later, Nikki. Okay? Sure. See ya. As I walked back to the awards banquet, I felt very lightheaded and a little nauseous, but in a really good way. More than anything, I was now totally consumed with a burning curiosity. Brandon had been about to ask me something really important when Mackenzie had rudely interrupted him, which left me with one very obvious and compelling question. Why am I such an idiot? Talk later? No, I know. She spent way too much time talking about those wingdings when he could have just literally asked her out in that moment. This is why I'm saying, Nikki just has absolutely zero aura. No aura whatsoever, and it literally genuinely ruins all her interactions with Brandon. And he's trying to deal with her too, but he's still going for her, so, kudos to him, kudos to him. Wingdings? I could not believe I had rambled on and on about the variety of delicious wingding flavors. No wonder he didn't ask me to the dance. At least my picture came out okay. And this is her picture, cute. Brandon is such an awesome photographer. When she learns how to say things, she will succeed. No, for real. So I actually used to be quite an awkward person. I would be quite an anxious, nervous person, especially when it came to presenting stuff and whenever it came to speeches and stuff like that, I would always shake super bad. My voice would be all shaky and nervous. I used to speak really fast, But after I had like some experience, if you guys are new here, you guys probably don't know, but some of my regulars probably already aware. I used to be like part of like this organization which was like focused on leadership and like volunteering and stuff like that. So the more time I spent in that club and then I started getting leadership positions, the more accustomed I became to speaking, and it really did help my confidence, and it really did help like just like the way I interacted with people a lot. So yeah, it's like learning communication skills and learning how to like leadership and like being confident, like bro, it really does help. Like it really does help, like, especially when you're talking to new people. Like as someone that like has like been always been so terrible at reading room, I feel like it's like a little bit of the hashtag tentative-tism, if you know what I mean. For me. I used to like be so like inept when it came to stuff like this. But now, but now, but now I'm glad to say that I don't really have as much of a problem as I used to. Sunday, October 13th. I'm in the most horrible mood right now. I'm so totally dreading school tomorrow. If I hear one more girl mention that stupid dance, I'm going to scream. I keep hoping someone will ask me, but I know it's not going to happen. Girl, be serious. What I need is a magic love potion or something. I would definitely use it on Brandon because that's the only way he'd ever like a loser like me. Then I'd share it with girls all over the world who are suffering from the same problem. Just one spray and your crush will fall madly in love with the first person he lays eyes on. That never ends out well. That never turns out well, dude. Super Crush Love Potion. Now every girl can live happily ever after with the guy of her dreams. Then this is her invention. And then this is how I guess it's being executed. Or maybe not. Whoa, Mrs. Hooper, that hairnet is like so hot, and I'm totally digging your meatloaf. Okay, so maybe my love potion idea is really stupid. My life is hopeless, frowny face. Tonight, Mom and my little sister, Brianna, were putting up decorations for Halloween. I knew what was coming next because it happens every single year. Brianna sneaks up on everyone and tries to scare us with this big, stupid-looking plastic spider. It's almost like a Maxwell family Halloween tradition or something. Mom and Dad always put on this big act and pretend to be super scared just to humor her. And of course, Brianna gets a really big kick out of it. Personally, I don't think it's healthy to encourage her like that. What's going to happen when she gets older and starts attending middle school? Hey, I already know what's going to happen. Brianna's going to take that plastic spider to school and shake it at people because she thinks it's appropriate behavior. And everyone at her school thinks she's nuts. Then I'll have to go through all of the trouble of changing my last name so no one knows she's my sister.
I love you.
Thank you so much for the follow. You're so hot and sexy. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, don't forget to drink water.
Oh, yes. Thank you so much. Let me drink some right now, actually. I was just thinking, I was just like, oh man, I really hope someone redeems this water redeem. I low-key want to hydrate my voice again. Let me do that right now. Hopefully you guys can hear it, but if you guys don't want to hear it, just mute for like 5 seconds just in case. But water drinking ASMR? Question mark, question mark. Okay. Nice. Parents need to realize that raising an impressionable child like Brianna is a big responsibility, and exactly that. That's how I high-key feel about all these parents that are raising Gen Alpha right now. What are you doing, bro? These are the most impressionable children ever, and you're letting them watch whatever on YouTube. You're just letting them like play whatever Ro is getting to the internet with all these random people. We already had the trauma of like some sort of like some trauma like me growing up with the internet, me being exposed to some stuff like that. But for the most part, at least there was like more like it was more regulated. There was more safer spaces. Like remember when like Nickelodeon, Disney Channel, and like Cartoon Network, they used to have like all their games. That's mainly where like I spent my time as a kid. There was more like kid friendly spaces online is basically what I'm trying to say. But now I feel like the spaces online, like social media is just such a vital part of the internet nowadays that when kids are exposed to the internet at a young age, which parents will
You're
do
hot.
irresponsibly,
I
Tina,
love
thank
you.
you so much for the follow. You're so hot and sexy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Like parents will like parents who just want to be irresponsible and not like take care of their kid or watch their kid. They'll just give them the iPad or like a computer just to distract them so that their kid won't bother them. And because of that, their kids are just like going on the internet, like which is totally unfiltered, and like the online spaces between children and adults is like is like not being separated anymore because social media is just
You're
inviting
hot.
everyone together on top of
I
like
love you.
also like spaces like Roblox and stuff like that too also not helping in VR chat and stuff like that. It's just yeah, like kids are very impressionable, and yeah, it is a really big responsibility to take care of your kid because yeah, like that's why kids nowadays are incredibly mean to one another, I feel like personally. That's why kids are super mean, and also just like also that's how kids also pick up like some like very like bad behaviors just because they just like pick up like whatever they see like on their for you page, on their recommended. Like and like for most kids, it's like all of these like really like immature people. Like I know a lot of kids really like Jake and Logan Paul, and also like my cousin like Lexon, and like because of that he'll like drink like Prime and stuff like that. Like and as you guys probably already know what the general consensus is on Logan and Jake Paul by us like as adults, but kids, they don't know that. They think they're the coolest people ever, and that's why it's just so scary just letting them just like say whatever, just follow whoever and like idolize whoever on the internet, you know. But anyways, let's go back to reading this children's book now. that got that got like surprisingly deep. I'm sorry, I did not mean to be that deep, guys. That's my bad. Anyway, I was up in my room studying for my French test. I was feeling a little grumpy because I was having a hard time remembering which nouns in French are masculine versus feminine. Sure enough, Rihanna showed up just like I expected. Boo! Brianna, your fake spider on a stick prank is so totally lame. So, did I scare ya? And then, ah! Because her sister was actually holding the fake spider, so what fell in front of her was a real spider. I would honestly react the same way, especially if the spider was legit that big. Like, that's wolf spider size. It's like almost the size of like her lamp. That's huge. That's like a tarantula. I used to only be on the computer for 1 hour a day until high school, and I feel like kids really need that restriction. Now they leave them all day. Yeah. No, it's just like, well, like I don't know. Technically, I was like unfiltered on the internet and on the computer, and like my parents didn't really watch what I did. I mean, I'm a VTuber now, so really, did I end up really all that well? Jolly? Probably not. But yeah, no, I feel like it used to be, at least it like used to be a lot safer. Like I feel like the amount of like flash games and stuff like that, like where you weren't forced to interact with random people on the internet. Like I feel like that was like a lot safer to grow up on, you know? Like and now like everything's like public servers and stuff like that. Now people are also like exposed to like also like these random people online who are most likely going to be trolling and toxic, and that's how kids pick up their behavior. You made your dream come true and become an anime girl. Definitely my dreams. I don't know so much about my parents' dreams. I'm kidding, guys. Live out your dreams. Never try to live out your parents' dreams. You'll be miserable doing so. Live your dreams and become an anime girl, guys. I totally freaked, and that poor spider seemed a little traumatized too. Brianna thought the whole thing was so funny. Ha ha ha, Brianna. I don't know how I thought that real spider was Brianna's fake one. Hers is purple with little pink hearts on it and is wearing high top sneakers and a big cheesy smile. It looks like the type of spider you'd find living in a Barbie dream house or hanging out with SpongeBob SquarePants. After that experience, I'll never forget that spider in French is aragne. Or at least, I don't know. I don't know how to say French. I don't know what the French, like, if there's any French people or French understanding people in this chat, I apologize if I totally butchered the French word aragne for spider. Apologies. Apologies right now. I'm giving my apologies right now. But is it a masculine noun or
You're
a
hot.
feminine noun? Thank you
I
so
love
much for the
you.
follow. You're so 160. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, crud. I'm so going to flunk this stupid test. Frowny face. I always wanted to be an anime girl. One day for sure. Dude, I believe in you, Mel. Mel, if you ever debut as a VTuber, VNGTuber, etc., just know that I will be there for your debut if you ever have one. I'll be there supporting you. For sure, for sure. Actually, I just realized, did I? Oh my gosh, Mel, I never followed you back. Let me do that right now. Oh my god, what the fuck? What the heck? What the heck? What the heck? I'm internally bunking myself right now, guys. I'm internally bunking myself. I apologize. I'm so sorry, Mel. You're literally one of like my number one bays. I can't believe I totally forgot. I'm so bad at following people on Twitch, to be honest. Also, hello, Digital Mango Bonk. Thank you. I'm very much needed bonk for that. Can't do it myself. Someone else has to do it for me. Monday, October 14th. When I arrived at school this morning, I was surprised to see a note on my locker door from Chloe and Zoe. Then it says, Nikki, guess who's going to the Halloween dance? Meet us in the janitor's closet ASAP. Chloe and Zoe, smiley face. The janitor's closet is our secret hangout. We meet there to discuss very important, private, and highly confidential personal stuff. Wouldn't you guys like be scared of like someone like the janitor actually walking in on you guys though? Because I know I would be. And I don't know. I don't know how it is for you guys, for your guys' schools, but for like our janitor's closets were always locked. They always were locked so kids wouldn't sneak in. I guess for this exact reason, like why would anyone like like they don't want like these random ass kids just sneaking in, possibly ditching school or class or whatever, so that makes sense. I was friends with the janitor. Dude, I remember in my elementary school, actually everyone really, really liked our janitor. His name was Mr. Todd. And he was cool. He was like one of those like very much aloof, like stoic people too, which was why I thought it was so funny that like everyone, like all the kids at our elementary school had like a fondness for him. I would joke around with him and stuff like that, even though he wouldn't even really react. I don't know. I think I have like a very deep like I have a very deep appreciation and soft spot for like stoic people that seem like they're emotionless that are actually like some of the biggest like softies or like lovers on earth. Very, very cute trope I love seeing in real life. Very, very cute. As soon as I stepped out inside, I could tell Chloe and Zoe were super excited. Guess who's going to the Halloween dance? Zoe giggled happily. I don't know. Who? I asked. I was pretty darn sure it wasn't one of us. We were the three biggest dorks in the entire school. Surprise! We are! Chloe screamed, jumping up and down and giving me jazz hands. And we've already arranged for 3 guys to be our dates. Sort of, Zoe squealed. Sort of? What do you mean by sort of? I asked. I was already starting to get a really bad feeling about this guy thing. Actually, in elementary school, my uncle was the janitor. Your uncle was the janitor? Oh my gosh, I always thought it would be so cool to have like a family member as like one of the staff members at school. Like I actually had a classmate and her mom was like the school nurse. And it was always so cool because I would be in the same class with her. I would always say hi to her mom, and her mom was fond of me and stuff like that. Like, she was like this, I think she probably, I don't know if she still is a school nurse because, it's been like how many years? Almost like 20 years since I've like been in that school. But yeah. But yeah, I don't know. It's just, I always thought it was so cool to have like family members as like faculty members when it came to school. Imagine like one of your family members is like your teacher. Like, imagine having like your aunt as like your teacher. Like, does anyone have experience in that? If so, is it more so awkward or cool? I feel like when you're in elementary school and middle school, maybe middle school actually, it might be cool, but like middle school, high school, when you get into your awkward phase and you like want to be negative about everything, it's not as cool anymore. It's more embarrassing. Also, sneezing coming, guys. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Your aunt was your art teacher? Oh my god, that's so cool. That is so cool. You have like a family of teachers. Wow. Oh my gosh. If it gives me points for the exam at school, no, that would be even more embarrassing for me. I feel like if my like family member, especially if it was like not like a close if they're not like directly like my brother or like my parents, like if it was like my aunt or my uncle and they saw like, especially like if I was bad in the subject and they saw how badly I performed, especially if it was in math, dude, and they saw how badly I would perform some of like doing some of like these equations, like I would have to log off, dude. That would be so embarrassing. Seeing like them seeing all my mistakes, and then they would for sure be telling all my family members how bad I am at math. I was too young to recognize how cool it was, really. I feel like how like the way like I grew up and like even like the kids at my school, like it was always considered super cool to have like a super involved parent with school, or like having like relatives, or like even just like your parents, they're there to just drop you off or like drop something off for you. Like it was always seen as like super cool that like your parents cared for you that much. And I always wanted that from my parents and my family, but I never really got that. My when it came to my school life, my parents were pretty absent. And yeah, they were just always that way. I guess not that I really cared though, now I think about it. But yeah. That's when Chloe and Zoe explained their crazy plan for how we were going to snag really cool dates for the Halloween dance. All in just 5 easy steps. Step 1. We sign up to be volunteers for the Halloween dance cleanup crew. Step 2. We arrive at the dance a half hour early, pretending like we're there to inspect for cleanliness. But instead, we secretly change into our fabulous costumes. Step 3. We quickly spread the rumor that the 3 cutest guys on stage with the band are our dates, even though they're really not. Step 4. Since the band is going to be busy performing the entire night, the 3 of us will dance, eat, and hang out with one another. Step 5. We'll have fun, while everyone, including the CCPs, raves about our super cute, super talented, super pop star dates. This plan was almost as bizarre as the one where they were going to run away and live in the secret underground tunnels of the New York City Public Library. I told them there was a slight chance their phony "my date's a band member" scheme might work, but it would mostly depend on what the guys in the band actually looked like. And then here are some examples, hypotheticals, for what the band members would look like. You got cute and moody lovers. And then it says everyone would envy us, smiley face. Or punked out scary weirdos. Yo, not gonna lie, punked out scary weirdos, they look like a vibe. Guy in the middle, it's giving Roderick a little bit, Roderick Heffley. The guy on the left is giving straight up the Onceler. And then the guy on the right kinda is giving like Jay Hong, the Capo vibes, with the bangs over the eyes. So not too much on them, Nikki. Like, the ones at the bottom here, actually, you know what? These are just average VTuber designs. What am I going on about? The second option is the correct one. Right. Like, growing up, like, this is actually how I feel like guys are looking nowadays. So, oh, how the turntables. Am I right, guys? The dangerous part is that this whole thing could easily backfire and ruin our reputations. And the three of us already have a pretty pathetic ranking in the WCD CCP Popularity Index. Here is a chart of the most unpopular people in the entire school. Then she is second to last. It goes number 1, Violet Baker. Number 2, Theodore L. Swagmeyer III. 3, Zoe. 4, the janitor. 5, Chloe. 6, head lunch lady. 7, Larry the Lizard, school mascot. 8, Nikki Maxwell, me. And 9, black slime mold growing in the locker room shower. And I'm assuming it's from left to right, from the not so, like, not terribly unpopular and to the most unpopular, I would assume. High self-esteem, right? I mean, hers is higher than me because, like, babe, I would be definitely replacing 9th place if it was my list. It's a girlie in the chat. What's up, everybody? Hello, Ruby. It is so nice seeing you again. Welcome in, babe. Welcome, welcome. I hope you're doing well. Hello. She's only above black slime girl. Girl, no. I know. Like, the bar is literally at ground level. 7 feet under, dude. That's the bar she holds for herself. Since there was a substantial risk I could end up more unpopular than black slime mold, we definitely needed to come up with a way better idea. I suggested that we each make an inexpensive yet creative costume by taking a big green garbage bag and stuffing it full of newspaper and going as, drumroll please, bags of trash. How cute would that be? Especially if we were members of the cleanup crew. Girl, be serious. We'd also need a pair of those yellow latex rubber gloves. Just thinking about all the germy things that could be lying around after a big party like that actually made me shudder. Ew! And since we didn't have dates, we could spend the entire night doing Broadway-style dance numbers. I said members, my bad. Using a broom, mop, and vacuum cleaner as our dance partners. Ooh, speaking of Broadway dance, when I saw Wicked the musical, honestly, one of my favorite things about, not the musical, I mean, like, Wicked the musical, the movie, I guess, the one with Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo. One of the things I loved most about the movie was actually the dancing and the choreography. The choreography was so gorgeous. It was very, very gorgeous. I personally thought my plan was pure genius. Then here's them rocking out in their little garbage bag fits. Honestly, this is a vibe. Like, me and who when we're all being trash with one another. But Chloe and Zoe were like, no offense, Nikki, but your idea is actually kind of lame. Of course, that little comment really ticked me off. If I'm gonna be so serious, Nikki, I agree with them. Like, girl, be so serious. Showing up in garbage bags is not the sleigh is not the sleigh move you think it is. It's not the this'll show them move you think it is. Okay, girlfriends. You wanna know what I think is lame? Lame is attending the Halloween dance as the cleanup crew and then lying to everyone that the band members are our dates. Chloe and Zoe got really quiet and just stood there staring at me with these big, sad puppy dog eyes. And of course, I felt kind of sorry for them because I personally knew what it was like to very desperately want to attend the dance. So, being the sensitive and caring friend that I am, I decided to put aside my personal feelings and sign up for the Halloween dance cleanup crew. I considered it a small sacrifice that would ultimately nurture true and lasting friendships. The sign up sheets for the Halloween dance committees were posted on the bulletin board right outside the office door. Lucky for us, no one signed up for the cleanup crew yet. The thing that really bothered me, though, was the sign up sheet for the chairperson of the Halloween dance committee. And you guys can see, it was like all of them were crossed out except for Violet, Theodore Swagmeyer III, and Mackenzie Hollister. For some reason, most of the people who had signed up crossed their names off the list, probably because they knew they had no chance against Mackenzie. Yeah, I know. Theodore L. Swagmeyer III, honestly, like, that's quite the name, dude. It has the name has a little bit of aura to it. I don't know. There's a charm to it. Like Swagmeyer, dude. Like instead of like Quagmire from Family Guy, just put instead of like regular Quagmire, like put on some like gold chains on him in like a backwards cap, call him a Swagapino, and then all of a sudden that's not Quagmire anymore, baby. That is Swagmire. 1 hour went by quickly. Oh my goodness, it's been 1 hour already. Wow. Insane. And we're only on page 34 too. That's the craziest part, guys. But I am yapping in between the lines, so that probably adds to it. Which meant there were only 3 candidates for that position, frowny face. Please, please, please let Violet Baker or Theodore L. Swagmeyer III be selected as chairperson. Otherwise, this cleanup crew thing was going to turn into my worst nightmare. Tuesday, October 15th. I love 5th hour because Chloe, Zoe, and I get to work as library shelving assistants, LSAs, smiley face. Some kids think the library is a quiet and boring place where only dorks and nerds hang out, but we always have a blast. Then it says, we put books back on the shelves. We answer the library telephone. You know, doing things like these, like all these like little roles, like it's like when you're like have you guys ever been like a student aide before, like a teacher? It's always more fun when you have friends like on the job with you, you know. Also, ooh, I have like a little something in my throat, so I'm gonna drink a little bit more if you guys don't mind. So, got some Arizona green tea. I was like, it's like a little something that was tickling at my throat for a second there, but we're back. We're back. We're good now. And then afterwards it says, we put out new magazines. So let me scroll so you guys can get a better look at it. Is this Joe's bar? Could you please page my friends? I need a bath for a hairy, stinky guy. Oh, my bad. Sorry, guys. Then, oh, there's something in my throat.
NEIRU, I will protect you.
Oh, sorry about that. I don't know, there's like something that was like kind of in the back of my throat. I don't know where it came from. But it's like, oh my gosh. Mm-mm-mm. Hold on. Give me just a second. gotta like warm up my voice a little bit. Oh my gosh, that like kind of damaged it. I don't know why. Also, let me move myself so you guys. Leon is like so dark. You could barely tell it's him. Yeah, Leon joined the reading set. She's gonna be with us the entire time now. We're gonna be lulling. It's kind of like we can kind of take it as like we're lulling Leon to sleep. Yeah. Ugh, I apologize for that, guys. It might just be because I've been whispering for a little bit, and whispering does kind of wear on the voice, so my apologies, guys. Ugh. We authorize bathroom passes. I can't believe they got back together again. Ooh, smell this perfume sample. OMG, he is so hot. That's literally me if I was looking at a magazine with Leon Kennedy. And then this last one. Eh. Okay, we just need to complete some paperwork first. I need your name, grade, date of birth, and whether you plan to go number 1, number 2, or both. OMG. I wouldn't think that being like a library shelving assistant would entail like is also like the same as like a hall monitor where you have to give bathroom passes and stuff like that. Did you guys ever have a hall monitor for like any of your guys' like primary school years? I never had hall monitors. I feel like that probably would have been like a I feel like that would have been such an obnoxious role. We didn't have hall monitors, but like our teachers were just like extra strict about how long we go to the bathroom and how often, which is kind of annoying because how often can you control someone going to the bathroom? Like, babes, do you want us to be hydrated like healthy human beings or not? Oh, so like the arms, I don't know, it's like a stylistic like Dork Diaries thing. Like the sometimes the illustrations won't be like complete. Like for the most part, especially like if it's like quick doodles, like they'll like it's like a mix of like anime illustration and also stick figure. I don't know, it's like I don't know how to quite describe it, but like that's why the arms look so weird. It's supposed to be like half stick figure and half like anime manga inspired art, which is like it's very interesting to see. But I feel like it kind of like makes it like the book's like aesthetic like very original and unique compared to like other like because I feel like when you look at like stuff like Captain Underpants, Big Nate, Diary of a Kid, they're all very much like well, I guess they're not exactly stick figures, but they're very much comic book esque, like very like you know like especially like with the eyes and stuff like that, like they're very simple. And I like that Dark Diaries mixes like the simpleness of like some like stick figure like drawings and like adds like a little bit of like like an illustrative twist to it with the anime heads and like the clothing and stuff like that and the faces. I think I think it's very unique. Yeah. And our librarian, Mrs. Peach, is super nice. On Fridays, she bakes us these humongous double chocolate chips with walnuts. Yummy. Oh my gosh, that sounds so good. I've been in the mood for something chocolatey. I actually have like a crunch bar in front of me right now, but I don't want to eat. I obviously do not want to eat it on stream. I know how some people like feel about like eating ASMR. Like it's either you love it or you hate it. I feel like for like food ASMR, eating ASMR. But when it comes to streaming, I don't know, I try not to like make audible sounds whenever I like am eating and stuff like that, just because like I remember I was like going through like pet peeves and like what like there are like tweets like that are constantly circulate through VTuber Twitter, and one of them is always just like VTuber or like what turns you off from someone's stream, and it's in this like mostly the VTuber community, right? And I kept seeing people saying, "Ugh," like whenever people like eat, like chew, or make noises, like whenever like you're doing something. And then because of that, I was just like, okay, I like I don't want people to like open my stream and like immediately be turned off either. So I'm a choose not to, unless it's like specifically in the title. I'll choose not to like include those noises as much as I can. Yeah, it sounds so good. Like, I don't know. I've been really craving like really like like fresh out the oven, like freshly baked cookies. So good, especially like when they have like a little bit of like sea salt like flakes like sprinkled on them. It's so good, guys. Ugh, I'm craving it right now. Too bad it's like 11 p.m. at night. No bakeries are open. I was a little surprised when Mrs. Peach gave me a note saying I was supposed to report to the office immediately. My parents were there waiting for me. They were picking me up from school early because they wanted me to attend the funeral of a Mr. Wilbur Roach, a local retired businessman and former president of the Westchester Exterminators Association. I couldn't believe that was actually his real name. Poor guy. My parents and I never met him, but since exterminators from all over the state were going to be there with their families, Dad thought it might be a good idea if we attended too. I was like, just great, frowny face. And if that wasn't bad enough, I had to listen to Dad's Pure Disco 3 CD the whole drive there and back. By the time I'd heard the song Shake Your Groove Thing for the 39th consecutive time, I wanted to jump out of the car window into oncoming traffic. That is so real. Dude, that's me whenever Ed Sheeran is playing on the radio, man. I'm sorry to any Ed Sheeran lovers in the chat, but like, there's only so many times I can hear The Shape of You and still keep my sanity, you know what I mean? Especially when like you can't escape it and it's everywhere. But I guess it really depends on the person, right? I don't know if anyone else feels this way about like any particular songs, but it goes, shake your groove thing, yeah, yeah. I forgot which commercial that's from. I think it's like from like a Zumba commercial or something. I feel like there was like an active like I don't know, like it was some sort of like commercial promoting activeness where it's used the same like song too. And then you just repeat those words 1962 times until the song is over. The whole experience ended up being very traumatic for me. I was also upset because I had a bad case of hiccups, extremely loud ones. During the memorial service, Mom kept giving me this dirty look like I was hiccuping on purpose or something, but I honestly couldn't help it. And this guy named Mr. Hubert Dinkle got really choked up while he was going up there giving the eulogy. Mom said it was because Wilbur Roach was his best friend. I think my hiccups must have gotten on his nerves or something because he stopped right in the middle of his speech, gave me the evil eye, and growled. I am so not lying. He actually growled at me. I mean, girl, that makes sense because you're disrupting the entire thing by being super loud. I would just excuse myself from the room, go to the bathroom or something like. And it says, mere words cannot express my grief over the loss of my dearly departed friend, Will. Grrr. That Ed Sheeran song is still into my head. I guess I will. Right, exactly. Same, same, same. That's how I literally feel like the same Ed Sheeran songs that play like I'm surprised he's not the most streamed artist at this point instead of The Weeknd because I feel like his songs like just played a little bit too much. Not even a little bit, a lot of bit. My hiccups were driving everyone nuts. I was waiting for Wilbur Roach to sit up and yell at me too. Then it says, dang nabbit child, your dang hiccups are loud enough to wake the dead. Although that would have totally freaked me out. Mainly because he was supposed to be like, dead. Anyway, my hiccups were getting worse. Then Mr. Dingle got an attitude and acted pretty rude about the whole thing. And here's like a little comic showcasing the hiccups. And then he like poured her a glass of water to stop her. And, like they all looked so sad in the beginning, but as her hiccups progressed, everyone just started looking more and more annoyed. Actually, it's funny that the person's name is Mr. Tinkle because funnily enough, I actually used to have a teacher and his name used to be Mr. Dinkle. And then like whenever like he would like give us a test or something, he was like a very laid back teacher, I want to say. He would be kind of shady though. He would be kind of shady though. But anyways, this teacher, he would like like anytime he would like give us a test or something really hard, like there would like be kids in the back of the class, and you guys know that if you guys have ever watched Fairly Odd Parents, you guys know like whenever Timmy's dad would like grimace and be like Dinkelberg. In spite of like the next door neighbor, we would do that too with Mr. Dinkle, but instead of the Berg part, we just omitted the Berg part. It was just Mr. Dinkle. After Mr. Dinkle practically scared me to death and made me drink that big glass of water in front of everyone, my hiccups finally stopped, which was a good thing, smiley face. I always wondered why they kept a pitcher of water up there next to the podium like that. Who would have thought it was an emergency cure for a case of hiccups? After all the drama at that funeral, I'm pretty sure Mom and Dad won't be dragging me to another one anytime soon. Thank goodness for that. My only worry now is that since Mr. Dingle is super old and a part-time church organist, I might unexpectedly run into him again at some point in the future. And then he'll give me a really hard time for ruining his speech. And then says Mr. Dinkle's revenge. Well, well, who do we have here? It's little Miss Hiccups. I hope you're not expecting me to let you in. It's like the edge. It's like the judgment before entering heaven's gates. Wednesday, October 16th. OMG! I have never laughed so hard in my entire life. My mom got up extra early this morning and tried out some homemade beauty treatments and relaxation techniques that she had seen on television. She was wearing an oatmeal face mask with cucumbers on her eyes, and she had turned off all the lights in the family room to meditate on the meaning of her life. That's what she said she was doing anyway, although it looked to me like she was sitting in the chair snoozing. Anyway, Dad walked in and turned on the lights and like totally freaked. And that's her dad screaming because you guys already know, like the typical spot A look with like the green face mask and the cucumbers. I don't know, like I feel like it's not that crazy though. Like you could tell it's a human. I don't know why like it's always portrayed, or I don't know if it actually happens in real life. If it does, like I don't know why like guys always freak out about it. Like I don't understand. Like that's obviously a human. What's so scary? Like like grow up. His scream was so loud and high pitched, I thought it was going to shatter that big window in our family room. Then, when Mom woke up and heard Dad screaming like that, she totally panicked and grabbed hold of him, which made him scream even louder. I guess Dad must have thought he was being attacked by some sort of oatmeal crusted, cucumber eyed zombie wearing a pink fuzzy robe with a bath towel wrapped around its head. Which I have to admit does sound awfully scary when you think about it. I only wish I could have caught that moment on video. I bet it would have gotten like 10 million views on YouTube. Then some producer would have paid us $1 million to do our own cheesy reality show. The way that actually happens though, like look at what happened to Bretman Rock, like that actually does happen still though. Although I will say TV is not that relevant anymore, so. OMG, I'm still laughing so hard my stomach hurts. Smiley face. By the way, I have a really bad feeling about Chloe, Zoe, and me being on that cleanup crew. Why? Because when I got to school, everyone was buzzing about the student council selecting Mackenzie to be the chairperson of our Halloween dance. Just craptastic. Of course, she made a big fat hairy deal out of the whole thing. She actually wore a special outfit for the occasion and insisted that everyone address her as Miss Chairperson. And then let me see. Let me show you guys a little illustration, and it's literally just like a little like prom looking like illustration. Like she has like the little sash and everything. Link. Oh yeah, I think YouTube changed the way they do their links now, so I probably have to update that in Fossabot. Let me see. Let me pull it up. No, it should be working. Are you talking about the one in my about? I probably have to replace it maybe. In like my panels. The one in Fossabot though should be working. The one like right above your message, it should be working. I personally thought the tiara and roses were a bit much. It's not like I was jealous of her or anything. Like, how juvenile would that be? The first thing Mackenzie did was call in an emergency meeting during lunch. Only, there wasn't any type of real emergency that I could see. 30 of us just sat there in this huge auditorium listening to her make a ridiculous speech. I just wanted to congratulate my wonderful Halloween dance committee members and share with all of you my extraordinary vision for what will be the most spectacular event our school has ever experienced. In keeping with this goal, I'm officially inviting each and every one of you to my very own birthday party, which, by the way, has been rescheduled again for Saturday, October 19th, due to a conflict with the Art Awards banquet. I proudly extend this opportunity in hopes that a few of you more, shall we say, socially challenged individuals might experience firsthand what a glamorous and exciting party is like. Dude, socially challenged individuals, raise your hand if you're part of the socially challenged individuals. Raise his hand. Actually, you know what, guys? I could literally raise my hand right now. Hold on. Oops, I almost where is it? There we go. Literally, this counts as like my hand raising, right? I'm pulling my phone out. It counts, right? It counts, right, guys? I almost fell out of my seat. I could not believe Mackenzie had called me socially challenged right in front of everyone and invited me to her birthday party. Like, why would she want me at her party? Mackenzie's speech went on for another 10 minutes, and when she finally finished, all the CCPs gave her a standing ovation. Mackenzie said the committees for setup, entertainment, publicity, decorations, and food would meet daily starting tomorrow. But the cleanup crew, which, by the way, was me, Chloe, Zoe, Violet Baker, and Theodore L. Swagmeyer III, didn't need any meetings because it doesn't take a brain to clean up. It was very obvious to me that Mackenzie was treating us cleanup crew members like second-class citizens, and I didn't like it one bit. I personally felt it was of vital importance that we meet at least once to plan our cleaning strategy. Next, she encouraged everyone to come up with really creative Halloween costumes. Except, of course, the cleanup crew. Mackenzie showed everyone sketches of the super cute uniform she had personally designed for us to wear the entire night. It's actually really cute. Let me show you guys. Has like hearts on it. That's actually super cute. That's like a way better idea than Nikki had if we're gonna be real about it. Yeah, Brandon's his name. You got it right. It looked like a twist between a spacesuit and flannel underwear. It came with 4-inch platform boots. She said we could easily store 50 pounds of trash in each of the 2 large pockets in the front, and if we had to go to the bathroom, we could simply unbutton the large flap in the back. Then, I don't know, it's really cute. I personally think it's really cute. Maybe it's because it's not colored in. I don't know, we'd have to see it colored in, but it's kind of giving like Sabrina Carpenter's like aesthetic, but cleanup crewified, I guess. took one look into Mackenzie's beady little eyes and knew right away she was making us wear that ridiculous uniform to publicly humiliate us in front of the entire school. But she just smiled and batted her eyelashes all innocent-like. After that meeting was finally over, I told Chloe and Zoe there was no way in heck I was going to allow that girl to embarrass us like that. But they were so excited about the possibility of going to the dance that they didn't even care. They told me I should try a little harder to be more of a team player and give Mackenzie's uniform a chance. Because even though it was absolutely hideous on paper, once we actually tried on the outfit, it might look super cute. I was so mad I could spit. Mackenzie's meeting was a total and massive waste of my time. I personally felt like my lunch hour would have been better spent trying to keep down the tuna fish and meatloaf casserole leftover surprise. That sounds so heinous, but honestly, I like tuna and I like meatloaf separately. Like separately, they are really, really good. Actually, I don't know about putting it in a casserole though. I've only ever had one casserole once in my life, and it was green bean casserole, and it was actually really good, but I feel like it's mainly because my aunt, who is Filipino, was the one that cooked it. she put in like she added a little spice, a little twist to it probably, so. And this is the little illustration of the horrific meal they had. Thursday, October 17th. Brianna had a ballet recital this evening. I almost could not say ballet for a second there. Oh my goodness. I wanted to stay home and do my homework, but Mom said I had to go. Every year, it's exactly the same thing. Cutesy little girls dressed up in cutesy little costumes, doing cutesy little dance routines to cutesy little songs. Brianna didn't want to go to the recital either, mainly because she hated ballet. Whenever Mom dragged her off to lessons, she would whine, "Mom, I want to be a karate chop girl, not one of those pointy toe hoppers with the pink scratchy skirts." But since Mom had dreamed of taking ballet lessons since she was a little girl, she felt the next best thing was to give birth to a daughter and force her to do it instead. When I was younger, Mom tried to enroll me in a ballet class too. Only, after she dropped me off, I went straight to the girls' bathroom and ditched my leotard and ballet flats and changed into more appropriate dance attire. The cool kind they wear on MTV. Can I dance? For sure. I'm a dancing maniac, kids. I like the little clock on her neck too. She kind of looks like Flavor Flav. Even though I was super excited about dancing, my ballet teacher sent me home with a note. And it reads, is it Madam Tutus or Madam Fufu's? I must say it's Madam Fufu's. Madam Fufu's School of Dance. We turn clumsy, ugly ducklings into beautiful, graceful swans. Dear Mrs. Maxwell, I have carefully evaluated the dance skills of your daughter Nikki, and I suggest the following placement. And the only check thing is other. Professional backup dancer for pop stars or rapper. Good luck. Sincerely, Madam Fufu. Nikki is the vibe, right? when she's not acting all crazy and awkward and embarrassing, she really is. She's just like me for real. I thought this was great news, but Mom was pretty much heartbroken I wasn't going to be a ballerina. Unfortunately, Madame Fufu didn't like Brianna all that much either. She was always sending her home early for disrupting the entire class. And just last week, Brianna got in trouble for defacing ballet school property. And she literally drew on the wall, "I hate ballet." Gasp. Instead of simply apologizing to Madame Fufu, Brianna lied about the whole thing. She was like, "But Mommy, my friend Miss Penelope wrote on that stupid ballet poster, not me." That was her story, and she was sticking to it. But everyone knows Miss Penelope is actually Brianna's own hand with a face doodled on it. Everyone except Brianna. And then her sneaking into the cookie jar. Miss Penelope, you better not sneak those cookies and shove them into my mouth or we're both gonna be in big trouble. Huh? Then it was quite obvious to me my kid sister had some serious mental issues. I'm just saying. Overall, the recital went okay. Except for the last dance number, called Fairies and Flower Friends Have Fabulous Fun. Rihanna just stood there on the stage shivering, with this terrified look on her face. I felt kind of sorry for her. And oh my goodness. So basically, if you guys don't understand why she's scared, it's because in the first book, if you guys are there for the first book reading, OMG, you guys probably remember Nikki told her little sister that the tooth fairy like gets really like upset at like girls that don't like have their teeth or something like that, and like they pull the rest of their adult teeth out or something along those lines, and because of that her little sister has developed a fear of fairies. Also, hello chef, have a good sleep, thanks for stopping by. Thank you. Although I have to admit it was partly my fault. Brianna had this thing about the tooth fairy. She's been scared to death of her ever since I told her the tooth fairy took teeth from little children and superglued them together to make dentures for old people. And this is what in Brianna's mind, I guess, what the tooth fairy is doing with everyone's teeth. I totally meant it as just an innocent little joke, but now she's too afraid to go to the bathroom by herself at night. Honestly, that's so real. Like when I was a kid, I used to be so scared of going to the bathroom by myself at night too. It was actually really, really bad. I slowly got over it, but like for the longest time, I was always scared of like Bloody Mary. Like when I was in elementary school, that I was so scared to go into any like room with like a mirror in it. That's how bad it was for me. And I know I'm not alone in that because I've seen like other content creators. I've seen also like talk to some of my friends and they had like a similar fear too. It doesn't even have to be like her specifically. It was also like with the other like urban legends that had to do with like the bathroom and stuff like that, you know? Yeah, like that shit traumatized me as a kid and it made me too scared. Especially like if you guys have seen like the supernatural episode of her, that shit kind of like scarred me as a kid and made it so scary for me. Especially like going to sleep at night in the dark. I couldn't like sleep with the light off for like a long while. Even to this day, like I feel more like at ease having like some sort of light on. And I like to keep like the covers always covering my face because like yeah, I still really don't like the dark. I hate how vulnerable I feel in the dark. Anyway, after the recital was over, we were getting ready to leave when Mrs. Clarissa Hargrove, one of the ballet moms, came over and gave Brianna an invitation to a Halloween party for the ballet class. She said it was going to be held at the Westchester Zoo in the Children's Petting Zoo building. I was a little surprised when Mrs. Hargrove, I don't know why I'm having such a hard time saying Mrs. Hargrove, congratulated me on my first art award, or just on my art award. Oh my goodness. I keep on fumbling my words. I'm so sorry. I'm literally acting like Nikki whenever she's in front of Brandon right now. I'm nervous in front of you guys. I'm nervous in front of you guys. She was desperately looking for an artist to paint faces for the ballet party and was wondering if I would be interested. Apparently, her niece, who also attends WCD, told her I was the best artist in the entire school and suggested that she ask me to help out. And get this, Mrs. Hargrove offered me $150 to paint faces and help with games for a couple of hours. I was like, well, heck yeah, smiley face. For $150, I would have painted her entire house, inside and out. You see, that's why all these children that are like child labor, like all these children are actually so oblivious and naive. Like $150 to paint faces for hours, like when they in actuality should be getting paid hundreds an hour. By the hour is crazy. taking advantage of like a child just so they could do like basically like the cheapest flavor they can. SMH. SMH, dude. SMH. It's not like I was going to be doing anything important on Halloween night, anyways, except maybe cleaning up after the Halloween dance. And now I had a really good excuse for not doing that phony "my date's a band member" thing with Chloe and Zoe. Mrs. Hargrove said she would buy the paint and brushes and drop everything off next week. So now I'm sitting in my room staring at a check for $150. I can't believe I finally had the money to get that cell phone I've been wanting. Damn, wait, were iPhones really no way, right? I don't think so. I feel like, oh, maybe she's gonna use it to buy the first. Yeah, okay, that makes more sense. Cause she did win like what, $500 for, but she said she was spending it on art camp though, like the $500 she won from the art show in the last book. But I think she said she was saving it for art camp. So I don't know. I don't know. Like, I feel like adults will sell for even cheaper than that, like $50. The for face painting or for the iPhone? Because like at the time when the iPhone was released, I remember like I thought it was like I didn't think that they were that expensive, or like I didn't think that they were that cheap. I mean, $150? Like no way. Oh, face painting. Oh yeah, that's true. Sell it. I don't even think like adults really sell it. Like they don't. Or do you mean like when they pay like the artist, like the face painting artist? I don't think, at least here, like in America, I think like they get paid quite a bit to like make a living off the face painting for like parties and stuff like that. I remember one of my like old like best friends, whenever she'd have like party, she would always go like really really hard because like she would always have like a bunch of like relatives with kids over, and so like her mom would always get like a professional face painter. And I remember um so like it was when I was started dating my first boyfriend. This was in high school, right guys? So I remember it was my friend's birthday party and they were doing face painting, right? And and I asked for a Leafeon, the evolution from Pokemon, to be painted on the right side of my face. And then it looked really cute actually. So I took a selfie with it and I sent it to my first boyfriend, the guy I was dating. And you want to know what he responded with? He responded with, "I wish I could paint your face white." Could you guys fucking believe that? Could you guys fucking believe that? That shit was fucking crazy. I could not believe, like, I'm not gonna lie, guys. I was kind of like, I feel like I was living in a very degenerate time in high school. It was the biggest degeneracy era I could ever say, like, because at like I don't know, like people were just saying anything with like no filter. I totally did not just hit my knee on my table as I was trying to sit up. But I'm not gonna lie, guys, I was a little bit of a freakyzoid in high school, so I was a little bit of a sex fest. What could I say? Back in high school, though. Still kind of am, but only about Leon Kennedy. But yeah, like, if I could say, like, the switch up from my, like, Rice Purity School, or Rice Purity score from, like, middle school compared to high school, like, the change was drastic, babe. But yeah. And then Nikki's doing her little Snoopy dance with her check. And it's basically like the same little like drawings we saw in the beginning too with the Snoopy dance, so it's nothing too new. Friday, October 18th. I'm still obsessing over what Brandon wanted to ask me that night at the awards banquet. According to Mackenzie and all the latest gossip, he already has a date for the Halloween dance. So the only other thing I could think of is that maybe he still wants to interview me about winning the art show since he asked me about it 9 days ago. Whenever I see him in class, he just says hi and bye, and that's pretty much it. He's definitely a lot quieter than he used to be. Or maybe he just doesn't want to be seen in public talking to a big dork like me. Frowny face. Mackenzie doesn't help things either. Every time she sees Brandon and me near each other, she rushes over and tries to flirt with him by twirling her hair. She's been doing this all week. I definitely think she's up to something,
Hey,
but I
don't
don't
forget to
know
drink
what.
water.
Thank you. Let me drink some tea actually real quick. I need my voice to kind of lighten up a little bit too, so it'd be perfect. I finally mentioned the whole Brandon thing to Chloe and Zoe while we were putting away books. Chloe, who, by the way, is an expert on guy stuff, said I should simply ask him what he wanted. I told her I had already tried to do that, but it was really difficult to talk to him during class with Mackenzie always butting in. And I asked him to meet me in the janitor's closet for a little privacy. He would think I was a weirdo, and if I asked him. Chloe and Zoe agreed with me 100%. Not about it being hard to talk to Brandon during class, but about him thinking I was a weirdo. Damn. They really just said, yeah, no, you're fucking weird, bitch. You know what? Honestly, kudos to them. They're honest. They're such real friends for that. You know, like at least they were honest. Like I'd rather like you be honest and unfiltered with me than like you letting me look like a whole fool and like making me believe like I'm cute or whatever. You know? Then Zoe said she had overheard Mackenzie bragging in gym class that the editor of the school newspaper had assigned Brandon to cover her birthday party as a personal favor. That's when Chloe said, "Hey, I have an idea. If Brandon is going to be at Mackenzie's party, why don't you just talk to him there? It'll only take a few minutes and then you can leave." "Are you crazy?" I screamed. "There is no way in heck I'm going to a party by myself with Mackenzie and all those CCPs. That's when Chloe got this big sly grin on her face and started doing jazz hands. I was like, uh-oh, not another one of her wacky ideas. "Nikki, you're not going there alone, because we're coming with you," Chloe shouted excitedly. I could not believe Chloe and Zoe both volunteered to go with me to Mackenzie's party. They said it was for moral support and because they're my BFFs. And not because they wanted to have fun, dance, or flirt with their secret crushes, Jason and Ryan, who, by the way, might ask them to the Halloween dance. Nope. We all agreed that Mackenzie's party was going to be strictly business. I had originally planned to use the $150 check from Mrs. Hargo to buy a new cell phone, but when I checked my closet, the only super fancy party dress I owned was from second grade and had buttons and bows all over it. Dude, I'm like, look at this outfit. This doesn't look like a kid's outfit. This looks like a Japanese idol outfit. This literally looks like an idol group like dress like outfit like you guys know like the special like stage outfits they have. It literally looks like one of those. It's cute. And I want to be caught dead wearing that plain old dress from the awards banquet. So I decided to use my cell phone money to buy a glamorous designer semi-formal dress to wear to Mackenzie's party. And for once, my mom actually agreed to take me to the mall instead of our usual discount department stores. I was like, yes, smiley face. While Mom helped Brianna shop for a Halloween costume, I went from store to store trying on the most fabulous dresses. I even found shoes, jewelry, and other cool stuff to match each one. I actually felt like I was doing a photo shoot for America's Next Top Model. All I needed was for Tyra Banks to suddenly appear. Dude, her obsession with Tyra Banks. She'd smile at me and another model very warmly and say, "I hold 2 photos in my hand, but only one of you can continue in this competition. The ugly lazy girl gotta pack and go home, y'all." OMG, I just love that girl. I think she's a wonderful role model for teens. Raises eyebrow, scratches head, looks around. Are you sure about that, buddy? Tyra Banks, the one that's literally body that was literally body shaming like girls for being over a size 4. Hmm. Anyway, I had a blast trying on all those clothes. And then this is kind of cute. Like, so it's like it says wacko emo version on the left, drama queen mean on the right. The wacko emo version of her is like honestly looks so sick. It kind of reminds me of a mix of like Knives' like final outfit and Scott Pilgrim like during the final fight against Gideon. It kind of reminds me of that outfit that Knives wears from Scott Pilgrim versus the World, and a mix of that and also Janice Ian from Mean Girls with the skirt, the long skirt. I like it. I don't know. I'm a sucker for emo shit, so low key. Oh, and there's more illustrations. Let me show you guys. Then you got baggy shabby chick, raging rebel walker, goth girl groovy, very scary vampy dude. It's giving like multiple. It's giving like those VTubers with multiple models. That's how I'm trying to be, dude. With like different outfits for each model. Oh my god, I actually scrolled way too far. It's okay. That was all. I think that was pretty much all of the. Oh wait, no, there's one more. And the last illustration is silly celebutants. I guess it's like a debutante, but into celebrity, into fame. I guess. And then cosplay girl cutie, and it's literally her with cat ears. That's so cute. Definitely an homage to the little weeb in her. Unfortunately, none of these styles reflected the real and true me. The mall was going to close in less than an hour, and I was starting to panic. If I don't find a dress, I couldn't go to Mackenzie's party. Suddenly, there it was. And from what it looks like, it kind of looks like it's like a very, I don't know, I feel like this dress is way too long. It has sparkles on the top, on like the top of the dress, and then like a little rose or something on like the side. But the only dress in my size was on this very snotty looking mannequin in the window. So I rushed over to this very snobby looking, it says snotty looking in the first line, but then it switches over to snobby looking. I don't know if that was on purpose or not, but I rushed over to this very snobby looking sales clerk and tapped her on the shoulder and said, "Excuse me, ma'am, but I absolutely love that dress in the window. Could you please take it off the mannequin?" But she was very busy putting out a very colorful display of the toe socks. And I'm guessing she did not want to be disturbed because she just glared at me and said, "Young lady, can't you see I'm busy? Now shoo, before I call security." I was totally shocked by her totally inappropriate behavior. I would be gagged too. What the fuck? I'd never had like a rude experience with a salesperson. Most salespersons I've ever like actually no, I lied. I think the only like rude interaction I've ever gotten from like a retail worker or like a salesperson was I was like in I think I was in an Ulta beauty store, right? And the girl at first approached me. You know, like when Sephora and like Ulta, like the beauty shop attendants approach you asking you, like, "Hi, how are you? Do you need any help?" Like, and usually you say no and they like mind their business. Well, like the time I went to the store, I actually did need help. Like, and so when she asked me, "Oh, do you need help?" I asked her, like, "Yes, I was wondering if you have any recommendations for lip colors that look like this." And she just kept like fucking circling my question. She just kept saying, "Oh, like, what do you mean? Like, what are you looking for?" I'm like, "I don't know. I just want recommendations where it has a similar color to this." Like, I'm assuming since you're asking me if I need help and you work there, and because you work there, I was assuming you were hired because you have experience in makeup, that you could give me actual recommendation. But she just kept dodging my questions, being like, the one you're holding right now is something I would recommend for you." And it's just like, well, I was already looking at this anyways. Like, she didn't actually have any recommendations for me, and like, she was so unhelpful, and she was giving me like a little bit of attitude with it too, as if I was wasting her time when she was literally the one that asked me for help. And so I kind of just got fed up, and then I just was just like, you know what, it's fine, okay, whatever. They don't help. Exactly. I don't know. If they ever ask me, oh, did you receive any help today? I should have just been like, no, I didn't. Because she fucking didn't help me, dude. That was like the only bad experience I've had though. But usually like whenever like I'm talking like with Ulta or Sephora like beauty consultants and like the shop like attendants and stuff like that, they're usually really nice. So that was like the only experience I've had like that. I even considered lodging a complaint with the manager since this was supposed to be an exclusive store for upscale customers. Like, who in their right mind would even want to buy a pair of toe socks? I'm just saying. And then, for you, my love, and then it says, oh my gosh, I'm not gonna lie, toe socks apparently are pretty comfortable, but I personally don't like the way they feel. Hugging my individual toes, it feels weird to me. I know some people like it, but it just says, for you, my love. You shouldn't have. Anyway, I really, really loved that dress, and there was no way I was leaving that store without it. So, I decided to sneak it inside the window display and take the dress off that mannequin myself. I mean, how hard could it be? Lucky for me, the only other person around was a little old lady browsing the support pantyhose. Things were going really well until I accidentally knocked her over and her head popped right off. Not the little old lady's head, the mannequin's. I was like, oh crud. Every time I tried to stand her up, she would just teeter back and forth and fall right over again, and her head would roll across the floor like a bowling ball. To make matters worse, a crowd of people had gathered around the window and were staring at me. And this toddler was crying really loud because that headless mannequin must have looked pretty dang scary. Anyway, after what seems like forever, I finally got that mannequin to stand up. I also found a new outfit for her to wear. And then, yeah, that's how she left the mannequin. She, I'm sorry, one thing about Nikki is that she'll always be doing, like, leaving everything a hot mess. Makes things, she tries to fix things, but she actually always ends up making things even worse. Like, she's genuinely the biggest klutz of all time. Then I paid for the dress and got the heck out of there. Before that mean sales clerk called security and had me arrested for vandalizing the window display. Believe me, I won't be shopping at that swanky department store anytime soon. Saturday, October 19th. OMG! Can't believe what just happened to me at Mackenzie's party. I've never been so humiliated in my entire life. Frowny face. Oh no, guys. Okay, guys, we gotta prepare ourselves for this one, y'all. I'm scared. She's scaring me a little bit here. Her party was at a ritzy country club and looked like something straight out of that MTV show My Super Sweet 16. A humongous room had been converted into a dance club complete with a stage, DJ, and strobe lights. And to make things really upscale, a private chef was preparing sushi and freshly baked pizza while a Starbucks barista served mocha frappuccinos, caramel lattes, and strawberry banana Viviano smoothies. Vivano smoothies? What? I don't know what Vivano means. What does that mean? Actually, let me see. Vivano smoothies. Vivano smoothie. You're hot. I think these are just like, thank you so much for the follow. You're so hot and sexy. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I don't know. Like, it from what it looks like, yeah, it's just like the name of like the Starbucks smoothie brand of drinks, I guess. I don't think this is a thing anymore. yeah, I don't think this is a thing anymore. So all the guys were decked out in suits and ties, and the girls were wearing party dresses by all the most famous designers. There must have been 200 kids there, and everyone was dancing and having fun. I was like, wow. Chloe and Zoe looked fantastic, and they said I looked like a glamorous Hollywood celebutante. Aww, here how they all are. They look so cute. I really like how Chloe looks with her hair like half up like this. The three of us felt super nervous and totally out of place being there with all those CCP kids. We placed our presents for Mackenzie on an overflowing gift table and then tried to act coolly nonchalant. Like we weren't, like we really weren't dorks, and it really wasn't the first and only middle school party we'd ever been invited to. But Zoe kind of messed up our very cool party girl cover. Suddenly, her eyes widened to the size of golf balls, and she let out a high-pitched scream. On a nearby table was this huge chocolate fountain. It had a fancy crystal platter piled high
Go
with
pee,
an
girl.
assortment. I don't need to piss right now, so unfortunately not applicable. It had a fancy crystal platter piled high with an assortment of
They're
fresh
coming,
cut
and
fruit
so am
for
I.
dipping into the warm chocolate. Oh my god, Christina! Oh my god, it's so nice seeing you, babe! Thank you so much for the raid, and hello, raiders! My name is NAKAYAMA. I'm a Y2K inspired gyaru VTuber. It's
You're
so
hot.
nice seeing you all!
I love
Thank
you.
you so much for the follow. You're so hot and sexy. Thank you. Thank you so much for bringing your community over here, Christina. How are you,
You're
my
hot.
love? OMG.
I love you.
I always see you on Twitter. I'm always so honored to have you as my mood. How are you, bae? So
You're
what are you
hot.
guys doing for stream? I hope it was
I love you.
fun. Oh, let me give you a shout out before I forget. But guys, so to update you guys on what we're doing right now,
You're
right now
hot.
I am currently reading one of my
you.
childhood favorite stories. It's called DORK Diaries. It's one of my favorite childhood series. If you guys are familiar with Diary of a Wimpy
You're hot.
Kid or any of those
I love
childhood
you.
stories that were like formatted to be like diary entry kind of books, it's kind of like up that same alley, if that
You're
makes
hot.
sense. And this is
I love
basically
you.
the girl version of it. So it's an adolescent kind of like girl, like teen, like kid girl book. And yeah, it holds very fond memories in my heart because it was my childhood series. Growing up, it was my favorite. So yeah, so we're doing like a little bit of a chill, quiet, like ASMR reading of it right now. I'm trying my best to read, but I'm kind of fumbling with all the words right now because I guess my eyes really can't read. I'm like blind or something. But again, thank you so much, Christine, for bringing your community over here. If you guys are tired from stream, which I can understand if you guys are, feel free to leave. You guys aren't obliged to stay here, or if you guys have other priorities or things you guys gotta tend to, that is a-okay. But if you guys don't have anything to do, if you guys just want to have some background noise, or if you guys are kind of invested in Dork Diaries like I am and want to like see what's going on or want to hear like this
You're
wonderful
hot.
childhood series be read out
I
loud,
love you.
I'd really appreciate it if you guys stayed. And thank you again, Chrissy, for bringing your community over here. I really appreciate it. Your voice sounds cute. Oh my gosh, thank you. I'm trying so hard to make it like sound cutesy, like aesthetically pleasing to listen to. Like the last time I did my Dark Diaries reading, like I read for like 5 hours straight because I actually finished the entire book. It was 211. I finished the entire book in one session, and at the time I was still kind of semi recovering from like being sick. So throughout the night, like as I kept reading and I was trying to be quiet, the more and more congested I got, and I sounded like a dying putt by the end of it. Like I'm not even joking you. I hated the way my voice sounded by the end of that video. Oh my goodness. By the end of that stream, I guess. But so I'm like trying my best right now to make it still like be maintained to be as cute and lovely as possible. But I don't know, I might be failing. I might be slipping through the cracks from time to time. Like I like slip up like unknowingly using my real like my like my like brusque ass typical voice that I usually don't show during ASMR, because I don't typically do ASMR content. I'm using like my most like aesthetic, I want to say like pleasing voice right now, but usually like on my streams I'm a little bit rambunctious, and like I usually like yell like a trucker, and like I'm kind of like unfiltered, and like my voice, I don't know. I feel like it's definitely not cutesy. It's more of just like your average like dumb bimbo bitch type of vibe is usually what my voice sounds like. Happy, thank you, thank you, thank you. Morning, Nadu. It is not morning for
You're
me.
I love you.
Good morning to you though. But for me, it's actually midnight, so the night's still young over here. And also, thank you for everyone for the follows. You guys are so hot and sassy. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. But yeah, love a fellow dumb bimbo bitch. A twins. But yeah, let me stop getting distracted. Let's focus back on the real content of this stream, which is reading this book that was meant for children. Woohoo! Alright, where was I? Okay, here we go. The three of us practically ran over to take a closer look. It was the most awesome thing ever. And by the way, for context, the main protagonist and her friends just like went to like the super mean popular chick's like birthday party, and they saw a chocolate fountain and they were like, ooh, let me go up there. Honestly, that's so real of them. And this is them surrounding the fountain. Yeah, and there's like a lot of like these cute illustrations, and that's one of the main things I actually really appreciate about Dark Diaries is that like the illustrations are so unique because they're not like the typical like, you know, like comic book looking or like stick figure s drawings. It has like more, it's like more stylistic. It like takes a lot of inspiration from anime and manga style actually, if you guys read the books. So I always thought the illustrations were cute, and that was something that like really influenced how much I really liked the book, because obviously I was a weeb growing up, so seeing like an anime styled book for like that was like easily accessible back in the day, especially like in the Scholastic Book Fair, like you already know like my nose was like dug into
Hey,
that
don't
book.
forget to drink water.
I could not stop reading the series. And while we were there, the strangest thing happened. Jason and Ryan walked right up to Chloe and Zoe and asked them to dance. The three of us just froze and went into total shock. I thought for sure we were going to need one of those defibrillator thingies that medics use when people have heart attacks. Chloe and Zoe just stood there blinking, with their mouths tingling open like deer caught in headlights or something. And then let me show you guys a little illustration. It's so cute. But you guys can probably kind of see what I mean when I say that, like, there's like a lot of inspiration from like anime and manga, as you guys can see. They looked at me and then the guys, then back at me, then at the guys, then back at me, and then at the guys again. This went on like forever. Finally, I spoke up. Actually, they'd love to dance. That's when Chloe and Zoe started blushing profusely.
You told me think about it, well, I did.
Jesus. I apologize to anyone whose like ears might have just been ruined by that. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Sorry, some of my redeems are like pretty wild, because usually my streams are pretty wild. They're not usually ASMR, so I apologize for anyone whose ears might have been murdered by that. But good night, Emma. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you, thank you. Have a good night. I hope both sides of your pillow are cold. Sure, Zoe squeaked. Okay, I guess, Chloe giggled. Then they both squeezed my arm, and because I'm their BFF, I knew just what they were thinking. That maybe the guys were going to ask them to the Halloween dance. I kind of winked and said, hey, go right ahead. I'm going to try this yummy chocolate fountain. Have fun, Kay? Chloe and Zoe smiled nervously as the four of them made their way to the crowded dance floor. I was so happy for them. I couldn't make up my mind which fruit I wanted to try first. Strawberry, apple, pineapple, banana, or kiwi. However, since it was free, I just piled a few of each on my plate and then drizzled warm chocolate over the whole thing. I couldn't wait to dig in. It was hard to believe I was actually enjoying myself at Mackenzie's party. If only I could find Brandon and finally get to talk to him about that interview or whatever, it would be a perfect night. Which, by the way, for those of you that might not know, Brandon is basically Nikki's crush, and he is a very big driving force for a lot of her actions and tomfoolery, to be honest. Throughout the series, so he's a pretty important character to remember, other than like Mackenzie and her best friends Chloe and Zoe. I was a little surprised when Mackenzie and her BFF, Jessica, walked up to me and started talking.
I love you.
Thank you so much for the follow. You're so hot and sexy. Thank you. Thank you. OMG, I can't believe you actually came, Mackenzie said, smiling at me. And your dress and shoes are super cute. Wait, don't tell me. You rated Lost and Found? Oh my god, she low-key gagged her. I gritted my teeth, took a deep breath, and then plastered a fake smile on my face. Happy birthday, Mackenzie, and thanks for inviting me. I didn't want to waste any of my energy dealing with her drama. The only reason I had to come to her stupid party was to talk to Brandon. Suddenly, Jessica stared at me and then scowled. OMG, what's that on your fruit? Ew. What? I looked down at it, expecting to see a bug or a hair or something stuck in the chocolate. That! Don't you see it? Gross! She exclaimed, pointing and frowning like she saw something slimy with 18 legs. I brought my plate up for a closer look. What? I don't see any. But before I could finish my sentence, Jessica slapped the bottom of my plate. Whack! As the plate went airborne, a few stray pieces of fruit landed in the chocolate fountain with a kerplunk, splashing chocolate in my face. However, the vast majority of the gooey mess landed on the front of my dress in chunks and stuck there. I froze and stared at it in horror. My beautiful designer dress was totally ruined. I'm sorry, she's better than me because if someone did that to me, I would immediately, punch them right in their face. It's literally, if that ever happened to me, I think I would see red. I think I would turn into Drita from Mob Wives, and the last thing I remember is before everything happens, and then the next thing you know, people are being escorted out on gurneys, being escorted into the ambulance. Meanwhile, I'm sitting there in cuffs. I grabbed the chocolate fountain and spray them with it. Or I'd try tackling them, giving them a hug so their dresses and hair is ruined too. At least, if I'm not gonna fight. Mackenzie and Jessica doubled over in laughter, and half a dozen other CCP girls joined in. I am so sorry, Nikki. It was totally an accident, Jessica sneered. OMG, Nikki, you should have seen the look on your face, Mackenzie shrieked. It looks like you were in a food fight. And lost, Jessica snorted. The lump in my throat was so large I could barely breathe. Oh, it's time to bring out the emote, guys. It's time to bring out our little crying emote, because this is a pretty sad, pretty tearful scene. I think that's how Nikki's feeling. I could barely breathe. Tears filled my eyes, and I tried to blink them away. I didn't want to give Mackenzie and Jessica the pleasure of seeing me cry. I grabbed some napkins and wiped my dress until all that remained was a large, faint brown stain. My god, it probably looks like she doo-dooed all over herself. I would cry over that too, honestly. It makes me feel so furious for her. Yeah, no, I'm furious too. Like, again, like she's better than me because I immediately would have started swinging. It suddenly became very clear that the only reason Mackenzie had invited me to her party was to publicly humiliate me. And, like an idiot, I had taken the bait. How could I have been so stupid? I didn't care about talking to Brandon anymore. I just wanted to go home. Suddenly, Mackenzie gasped and whipped out her lip gloss. OMG, Jess, isn't that the photographer from the Westchester Society page? I think it's time for our close-up. That's when I noticed that the fountain was vibrating and making a strange gurgling sound. I guessed that the pieces of fruit that had dropped inside were clogging things up or something. What a beautiful fountain. Let's get a shot with the birthday girl and her best friend standing right beside it, the photographer guy said as he dunked a huge strawberry into the fountain and popped it into his mouth. Ruh-roh. I'm pretty sure we all know where this is headed. Ooh. Okay, I had a really bad feeling about their taking a photo for the Westchester Society page right next to the fountain. Mainly because it was making a low rumbling noise that sounded like a twist between a clogged up garbage disposal and a plugged up toilet. It was not a happy sound. I was out of there. Oh my goodness, it actually... Guys, it like legit I'm like looking at the illustration right now. Let me show you guys. Literally, honestly deserved. Honestly, this was all I needed to be satisfied. I just needed to see their entire days ruined too. So now they're even, at least. I admit, that big smudge on my dress looked bad. But Mackenzie and Jessica looked like they'd been mud wrestling in a vat of chocolate fudge and then tried to clean up by showering in chocolate syrup, which, by the way, made me feel a whole lot better. I wrapped my shawl over my dress and then hurried to the front desk in the lobby to call my parents. I decided not to tell Chloe and Zoe I was leaving. They were still dancing with Jason and Ryan and seemed to be having a really great time. And if they were lucky and landed real dates for the Halloween dance, they wouldn't have to do that phony "my date's a band member" thing. I was standing outside the main door, waiting for my parents and trying to ignore a really bad headache when I heard a familiar voice. Hey, are you leaving already? It was Brandon. Just great, frowny face. I adjusted my shawl to make sure that stain wasn't showing and just stared straight ahead. Yeah, I am. Actually, I don't even know why I came. I'm out of here too. I just needed shots for the newspaper. That's nice, I guess, I said, trying to muster a smile. Bro, Brandon, you're so late. That's what I'm saying. Like, Brandon, you literally could have, intervened, throughout all of this. You could have stopped this from happening. You could have prevented this just by being with her because Mackenzie would have been, kissing your ass. But no. Where was he this entire time? At least she at least they were even though. At least they looked way worse than she did after they did what they did. It was honestly their karma. At least they came for them, you know. That's nice, I guess, I said, trying to muster a smile. Our eyes met, but I quickly looked away. We both just stood there, not saying anything. I kept fiddling with my shawl, but out of the corner of my eye, I could see him staring at me. Are you okay? Yep, just super tired. Sorry to hear that. Oh, here's my dad. See ya. I rushed to the curb to meet the car as it pulled into the U-shaped driveway. Hey, wait a minute, Nikki. Without looking back, oh, come on, Nikki. For context, guys, for anyone that just came in, whether it was from the raid or elsewhere, basically, Brandon obviously likes her back, and he's been trying to ask her out, but each time she just leaves. It always gets interrupted. And he's obviously trying to ask her, but now she just left without like even looking back at him. I guess it's because she's embarrassed. I understand that, but like, damn girl, just let him speak. I opened the car door and collapsed into the back seat. I was exhausted, angry, humiliated, and confused. And to make matters worse, I think I was having my first migraine. More than anything, I just didn't have the energy to chit-chat with Brandon right then. As my dad pulled away, I peeked into the rearview mirror. Under the glare of the streetlight, I could see him just standing there in the middle of the street with his hands in his pockets and a hurt look on his face.
You're hot.
Thank you so much for the follow. You're so hot and sexy. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Right. Could have turned into the best day of her life. And now she's like, her and her man are miserable. Like, what? Like, look at him. Like, look at him. Like, he definitely looks like he came straight out of like a Mark Crowley How to Draw manga book. For real. Also, hello, Josh Red. Welcome in. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you. Thank you. I hope you're having a wonderful day so far, or a wonderful night wherever you are. I suddenly felt like the most cruel and heartless person in the world. I buried my head in my shawl and had a really good cry right there in the back seat. Oh, she said she had a really good cry. Hold on. We gotta resonate with our protagonists. We gotta start crying too. Why was I acting so crazy? Why was everything so confusing? Why was I hurting a person I really cared about? It was just another dreadful day in the pathetic life of a not-so-popular party girl, frowny face. Ooh, that's a name drop. Title drop. Alright. Let's turn this shit off. Sunday, October 20th. When I woke up this morning, I was in a decent mood. For about 30 seconds.
You're hot.
Then all the horrible memories. Thank you so much for the follow. You're so hot and sexy. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Then all the horrible memories from Mackenzie's party came flooding into my brain like a massive tidal wave. I just wanted to crawl deep under the covers and hide there for the rest of the school year. Like this illustration she did, literally me when I'm in the morning. Especially like when it's winter, it's like you have to wake up early for like either work or school, and it's like super super cold, and all you want to do is just lay in the fetal position under your covers the entire time. You guys know what I mean? Literally me. Now I'm feeling hopelessly depressed, frowny face. I checked my answering machine and was not that surprised to see Chloe and Zoe had each left me like a dozen messages. But I decided not to call them back. The last thing I felt like doing was blabbing on the phone for 3 hours about how Mackenzie and Jessica had tortured me and destroyed my dress. Although I can't blame Chloe and Zoe for being super mad at me for just disappearing into thin air like that. I'd wanted to get the heck out of there as fast as possible. I guess I completely bugged out. Anyway, around noon, my mom came bouncing up the stairs to tell me that lunch was ready. Then, out of the blue, she smiled really big and said, "Guess what, honey? I have a little surprise for you." Then, it was her trying to guess what's in the box. Her thinking it's either new underwear, a new cell phone, a new car, a new computer, a cupcake, or a toothbrush. And no, I didn't think she had finally gotten me a cell phone, even though I'd been wanting one like forever. Apparently, Dad was sorting through stuff in the attic when he discovered a box of Mom's old costumes from her Shakespeare theater days back in college. When she showed me her Juliet costume, I was like, wow! The dress was made of the most beautiful plush purple velvet and had gold embroidered trim along the sleeves and skirt. It came with a curly wig and a fancy eye mask decorated with purple beads, ribbons, and feathers. The outfit looked like something a real princess might wear, and it was in great condition, even after being in storage all those years. Because the dress had a lace-up front, Mom thought it would fit me perfectly. She said I was welcome to use it for the Halloween dance. I thanked her and told her it was the best costume ever. But when she begged me to try it on, I kinda stammered and came up with the excuse that I had to study for a big test. I promised her I would try it on after dinner, which, by the way, was a lie. I absolutely loved the costume, but I had no intention of wearing it, ever. After last night's disaster, just the thought of attending another party actually made me want to vomit. I guess I'm still traumatized or something. At this point, I plan to skip the Halloween dance and just help out at Brianna's ballet party. I've already spent the money I was paid, so I'm pretty much stuck doing that one. But I'm not going to stress out about it. I mean, what could possibly go wrong at a party for a bunch of 6-year-olds? I'll be spending the rest of Halloween night sitting on my bed in my pajamas, staring at the wall and sulking. Which, for some reason, always makes me feel better, smiley face. I just hope Chloe and Zoe don't get mad at me and decide they don't want to hang out with me anymore. Having friends is so complicated. Which, by the way, reminds me that I am not looking forward to seeing Brandon in biology class tomorrow. That look on his face just keeps haunting me. This is her all heartbroken about Brandon. I feel really awful about acting the way I did, but I couldn't help it. I'm pretty sure by now he hates my guts. If I was him, I definitely would, frowny face. Monday, October 21st. All day, Mackenzie and Jessica have been giving me the evil eye and whispering about me. I'm so sick of them, I could just scream. Apparently, they're mad at me for that whole chocolate fountain fiasco. And Mackenzie's spreading the rumor that I only came to her party to try to humiliate her. I know she's lying. I know she's lying about not her trying to completely switch it up. You were the one trying to humiliate her in front of everyone. And now, like, be so serious. So Brandon wouldn't want to take her to the dance. This whole thing was their fault. If Jessica hadn't smacked my plate like that, those little pieces of fruit wouldn't have fallen into the fountain and made it malfunction. I can't stand Mackenzie, but I'd never try to mess up her birthday party. I mean, how immature would that be? Even though I hadn't seen Chloe and Zoe since the party, they must have heard all the gossip. I wasn't surprised to see they left a note on my locker. Nikki, what's going on? We really need to talk. Meet us in the janitor's closet during lunch. Chloe and Zoe. I had no choice but to come clean and give them all the nitty-gritty details about what had happened and why I'd left the party early. Only, I didn't mention the part about Brandon since I was still confused about all that. I was totally surprised when Chloe and Zoe got super angry. Not at me, but at Mackenzie and Jessica. Chronic manipulator, right, exactly. Like, bro, we're just normalizing being a pathological liar at this point. It's crazy. They said they had suspected something bad had happened to me after I left so suddenly without telling them. They hugged me and said they were really sorry I had to go through all that alone. So of course, that just made me cry. So Chloe, Zoe, and I had a really good group cry. So cute. It was Chloe's idea that the three of us resign from the cleanup crew. And Zoe totally agreed. They said we were not going to tolerate Mackenzie and Jessica's bullying any longer. I couldn't believe my ears. I knew Chloe and Zoe had their hearts set on attending the dance as the cleanup crew and doing that phony "my date's a band member" thing. Unless, of course, Jason or Ryan asked them to go, which they haven't yet. But they said it was no biggie, and even though the three of us wouldn't be going to the Halloween dance this year, there was always next year. I could not believe that my wonderful BFFs would make such a huge sacrifice just for me. I got this huge lump in my throat, and I wanted to cry all over again. As soon as I hear crying, I gotta activate. I gotta show off. The emotes. Like, I gotta show off the emotes as much as I can. So we composed a letter stating that we were resigning from the cleanup crew, and the three of us signed it. Then we gave the letter to Jessica, since Mackenzie had appointed her as her personal secretary for all official Halloween Dance Committee correspondence. At first, Jessica just stared at us really mean. Then she snatched the letter right out of my hand. It's about time you wrote Mackenzie an apology letter. The poor girl was traumatized. Now let's just hope she accepts it. If I was her, I sure wouldn't. I couldn't believe Jessica actually said that. When Mackenzie opens our letters, she'll be in for a little surprise. And of course, she'll probably have a big hissy fit and create a lot of drama. I'm going to need years of intensive therapy just to recover from having a locker next to that girl. By the way, today in biology, Brandon barely said hi and then ignored me the entire hour. I'm guessing he's mad at me too. It sometimes feels like the entire world is mad at me. Whatever. Sad face. Tuesday, October 22nd. Today, we started the gymnastics section in gym class. I think I might actually be allergic to gymnastics because whenever I get within 10 feet of a piece of equipment, I break out in a rash. Our gym teacher placed Chloe and Zoe in the intermediate group because they were both pretty good. But I got stuck in the beginner group because she said I needed a lot of work on fundamental skills. The first fundamental skill she requested that I master was, quote unquote, not falling off. Surprisingly, I caught on really fast. And with courage and discipline, I had the potential of earning a perfect score of 10, just like those girls on the Olympic gymnastics team. And this is her pussy ass on that beam. Actually, I used to be pretty good at what is this called? Like gymnastics, I guess. I don't know. There used to be a little practice bar in the playground of my elementary school that I used to go on, and I used to practice a bunch of tricks all the time, of spinning and stuff like that, of lifting myself up. I would do pull-ups, and I'm pretty sure it's the major reason why my arms are have a lot of muscle in them now, and I've because it was literally arm day for me every single day in elementary school. I was practicing my gymnastic skills on the bar every day at some point. And I think because of that my arms became just super jacked. It just kept its shape ever since then. Because it's always been like this since then. And then it's continued. Her falling off of the beam. My gym teacher said she was really proud of the progress I had made in class today and gave me a B+. I now have a renewed respect for gymnasts, especially those who have completely mastered not falling off. Since Mackenzie is in our gym class, I was not surprised when she came over and told Chloe, Zoe, and me that she was having another emergency meeting today. She said it was to approve the resignations of some committee members and that attendance was mandatory. We were happy and relieved she had agreed to let us quit. She never said that. She probably isn't letting you guys quit. We can already see where this is going. So we skipped lunch again and went to the auditorium. Mackenzie opened the meeting by saying that all resignations had to be approved by her. Thank you so much for the follow. You're so hot and sexy. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And that until that happened, Chloe, Zoe, and I were still official members of the cleanup crew. Then things started to get really weird. She became very emotional and said, "Due to a recent incident in my life caused by a person who shall remain nameless, I can no longer serve as the chairperson of the dance, and I tender my resignation. However, I'll continue to support the dance by attending, if it actually occurs." Then, as if on cue, all the setup committee members resign. Then the food committee members, then the entertainment, publicity, and decoration committees. Mackenzie smiled really big and said, "As chairperson, I officially approve all the resignations, including my own. All ex-committee members are now free to leave." The other cleanup crew members and I just sat there in shock as every last person got up and walked out, except Mackenzie. OMG, it looks like I totally forgot to vote on your resignations, which, by the way, means you five are now the Halloween dance committee. If you decide to have it, you better get busy because you have a ton of work to do. And if you decide to cancel it, make sure you notify Principal Winston and the school council. Although, I wouldn't want to be the one to disappoint the entire school like that. Good luck, losers. I just sighed and rolled my eyes at her. Kenzie, you are such a drama queen. Can't resign like this and walk out. Oh yeah? Watch me. Then she cackled like a witch and sashayed out of the auditorium. I just hate it when Mackenzie sashays. By 6 hour, the entire school was gossiping about how Mackenzie and the other committee members had resigned. Everyone was saying the Halloween dance was either going to be cancelled or a complete disaster. Why? Because no one believed that the cleanup crew, Chloe, Zoe, me, Violet, and Theodore, the biggest dorks in the entire school, could pull off the biggest social event of the semester. And they were absolutely right. Frowny face. No dorks allowed. Wednesday, October 23rd. I spent the entire night tossing and turning and barely got any sleep. I also had the most horrible nightmare. I was at the Halloween party dancing in a chocolate bar costume, and for some reason, I couldn't feel my toes, feet, or legs. Suddenly, I realized in horror that my body was melting into a pool of warm, gooey chocolate. And even though I was desperately screaming for help, everyone at the dance just laughed and started dipping pieces of fruit into my melted body parts. Talk about traumatizing. Boy, was I ever relieved that it was all just a silly nightmare. And then there's Brandon looking despair, Mackenzie laughing like an anime villain. This looks like it could be like part of like a preview sneak peek of the next episode, but also like the ending card of an anime, dude. Like I could see this being used for like, I don't know, some kind of like death game type shit. Like I don't know, like Tomodachi game or something like that. Like this is one of the punishments. This is this is what happens. This is the fate you meet if you don't win the game type of stuff. This morning, the members of the cleanup crew had an emergency meeting in the library about the Halloween dance. Only it really was an emergency because we had to decide whether or not to cancel it. I was in the library writing in my diary and waiting for the others to arrive when Brandon walked in. I was surprised to see him, especially since it seemed like he'd been avoiding me the past few days. Brandon placed a stack of books on the front desk and kind of hesitated like he was a little nervous or something. Then he finally walked up to me. He was writing in her little diary, and then Brandon just I guess leaning against the rack of books and magazines. So how's the Halloween dance coming? It's not. Haven't you heard? Mackenzie quit and took practically all the committee members with her. There's still you and a few others, right? Unfortunately, we'll be having a meeting in the next 10 minutes to officially cancel it, I said, glancing at the clock. I'm just waiting for everyone to arrive. No, she can just dump that shit on them. Right, exactly. Like, oh my god, like she's literally so, I mean, I guess it is a comic, kind of, sort of, partially. Like, it's just so funny how actually evil she is. Like, her and Chloe from Miraculous Ladybug gotta compete against each other to the death. Like, they gotta compete in their own Squid Games for the most evil mean girl. Brandon folded his arms and sighed. That's too bad. I was looking forward to going. Oh, he gained the courage. I know! And it sucks because, like, he thinks now it's, like, cancelled, even though, and, like, because, he said that she's gonna try, to obviously still hold it, and we can probably already predict where the story's going, so it's definitely gonna happen. But she won't know that she's doing it, and like the only reason he was looking forward to it was to ask her out. The principal's perspective, yeah, no, just for like the girl to just like randomly just like drop everything, all the committees quitting, and even like the food committee, dude, like how are you supposed to replace all of those people, especially that last minute? Like, I don't know, I'd be way more mad at Mackenzie, and I would just explain what happened to the principal. But you already know how the plots work in these books, so it's really no surprise that Nikki decided to not do any of that. Miss Popular tonight. Who, me? Really? How so? I mean, I guess Christina did bring over her community, so I don't want to say it's not. I'm personally Miss Popular, so don't not me. I'm more like, instead of Miss Popular, I'm more dork, kind of more akin to the main protagonist of the book we're reading. I think that's more accurate to me versus Miss Popular. They wrote Mackenzie so good, I feel this visceral towards her. Right. Like, she really is so evil that you want to, like, punch her in, like, the face. Like, even as an adult, I can't be mature around her. Like, girl, I would have started swinging, like, quickly if she was in front of me. I had to admit, he did look a little disappointed. And for some reason, that bothered me. Well, I'm sure you and Mackenzie can find something else to do Halloween night. Maybe you guys can go trick-or-treating? Because you're the hottest trick. Oh my god, stop! I'm kicking my feet, I'm blushing. I'm about to kiss you through the screen. I'm literally about to, like, grab you through your computer screen, grab you through your monitor, and pull you in, and then we're gonna start making out. And then I'll put you back in, like, your place in, like, your little comfy computer chair. And then you could just blank out for the next, like, few minutes processing what just happened and why a VTuber just pulled you through the screen. I threw my head back and did a fake little laugh to try to hide my snarkiness. Mackenzie? Who said I was taking Mackenzie? Everybody. Oh, well, I guess everybody's wrong then, Brandon said with a shrug. I stared at him in disbelief. Girl, be serious, Nikki. Nikki is just so... Nikki is blinder than a bat. OMG, did he just say he wasn't going with Mackenzie? What? How could he not be going with Mackenzie? Well, somebody needs to tell her that. She already has your costumes picked out. Brandon glanced out the library window like our conversation was boring him out of his skull. I did. She asked me to take her and I said no. You told Mackenzie no? I said, trying not to act surprised. How could he say no to Mackenzie? Why would he say no to Mackenzie? Probably because she's a major fucking bitch, bro. No one ever says no to Mackenzie. She said she'd just cancel the whole thing, Brandon said, looking really annoyed. Okay, wait a minute. Are you serious? Mackenzie said she'd cancel the dance for the entire school unless you agreed to be her date? Something like that. How could she? That's just totally crazy. Yeah, she set you guys up. I tried to wrap my head around everything I just heard. Okay, so Mackenzie resigns, and when the dance gets cancelled, nobody ever finds out she lied about you taking her. And, in the end, the entire school gets mad at us and not her. Unbelievable. If you cancel the dance, she wins, Brandon said matter-of-factly. Wow, this is just so wow. I don't know how we'd ever pull it off. Brandon grinned and winked at me. You'll figure it out. I'm afraid Mackenzie's better match. Listen, bud, have you seen the cleanup crew? Actually, you should be afraid. Be very afraid. We both laughed really hard at my silly little joke. It was kind of strange, but talking to Brandon not only gave me a whole new perspective on things, it made me feel a lot better. Like, dude, just kiss already. Liked by her own insecurities, she's just like me for real. Soon, we were talking about school and stuff. That went really well until he smiled at me kind of shy-like and stared right into my eyes. Of course, I started blushing like crazy. Oh my god! I gotta bring up my little emote. I gotta put on my blush expression. Then it got so quiet we could hear the library clock ticking. I think he felt a little embarrassed too, because he bit his lip and started drumming his fingers on the magazine shelf. I'm sorry, every time I see the words like lip bite, I can't think of it the same, because now I always think of you guys know Lin-Manuel Miranda, the creator of Hamilton. I always think of that meme where he's doing the little lip bite, and that pops up every time I see the word lip bite in a sentence, and it's traumatized me. She's so fucking petty, but I kind of like it. Imagine you're so petty that you cancel school. Yeah, no, honestly, she is such a bitch, but I'm not gonna lie, I gotta give her props because, she really is excelling at being, a major bitch. If you're gonna be a bitch, at least, I would, don't be a fake bitch. Be, a real bitch. And she is a real bitch. She keeps outdoing herself in her bitchiness. And honestly, that's kind of a talent. So I totally get what you're talking about. It takes talent and skill to be that evil. Truly. I think he felt a little embarrassed. Whoops, sorry. Wrong line. Suddenly, he slapped his forehead and gave me this really goofy but cute look. Duh, I almost forgot what I came in here for. Yeah, me too. I trudged over to the front desk and grabbed a pile of library books to process them back into the system. It looks like none of these are overdue. So, are you returning? Brennan didn't give me a chance to finish. No, actually, I came in here to ask if you go to the dance with me. My mouth dropped open and I just stared at him. OMG, he finally did it. The madman actually did it this time. Wait, did I hear you correctly? You just asked me if... Yeah, I did. Oh, well, okay. Sure, I guess. I stammered, blushing more than ever. If there is a dance. I was trying to act nonchalant about the whole thing, but inside my head, I was like, yes! Smiley face. Cool, Brandon said, nodding his head and looking a little relieved. Very cool. And let me know if I can help you guys out. Sure. And thanks, for asking me. I was smiling from ear to ear and couldn't stop. Hey, no problem. Well, I better get going. See you in bio. Still a bit dazed, I watched him walk to the door and disappear into the hall. Finally, Brennan had asked me to the Halloween dance. I was so happy, I started doing my Snoopy happy dance. Soon, Chloe, Zoe, Violet, and Theo arrived, and we began our meeting. When I told them about Mackenzie and why she had bailed on the school dance, they could hardly believe it. Who would have thought that girl could be so selfish, devious, and manipulative? Talk about evil. Girl, we've been talking about how evil she is. Mackenzie makes the Wicked Witch of the West look like Dora the Explorer. I'm just saying. By the end of the meeting, we had all agreed upon two things. First, we were not going to let Mackenzie get away with her little scheme. And second, the students of WCD were going to have the best Halloween dance ever. Courtesy of the cleanup crew. Smiley face. The only thing that bothered me was that I was going to be a little busier than I had anticipated. I was supposed to be 1. Helping out at the ballet class Halloween party, 2. Working on the dance committee, 3. Doing that my date's a band member thingy with Chloe and Zoe, and 4. Hanging out with Brandon as his official date to the dance, all at the same time. I've gone from socially challenged to socially chic in just one day. Turning down the popular girl just for a clumsy girl, Nikki, yeah, I know. If only people like Brandon actually existed in real life. But honestly, I feel like because it's from Nikki's point of view, we can't really trust her perspective on herself. Well, she kind of is like a dork in terms of like her actual behavior, but like outside, like from a social standing, who knows? She might just be seen as like, you know, like actually like really cool and like pretty and stuff like that, but like everyone else like in their school around them. She just doesn't know it yet, like their entire group. Kind of like if you guys have read like the webtoon Odd Girl Out, kind of like that, where like the entire girl, she made an entire thing about how she was like the ugly one out of all four of her friends, but it turns out like, you know, the entire school considered all four of them to be like the beauties of the school. It's just like our narrator's just like unreliable because they think so lowly of themselves. Like, girl, you're literally gorgeous. Sit down. But I was pretty sure all the scheduling conflicts would simply work themselves out in the end. I mean, look at all those Hollywood party girls. Aren't they at every party in every city at the same time, all while hanging out with their BFFs and boyfriends? If they can do it, how hard can it be? And everyone knows those Lebutons have a combined IQ lower than an ortho retainer. Not an ortho retainer. The good news is that my days of being a not so popular party girl are finally over. Smiley face. Yay! Thursday, October 24th. Mrs. Peach has agreed to let us meet in the library every morning to plan the Halloween dance. She is such a sweetheart. We had a vote and I got elected chairperson, which also means it will be entirely my fault if the whole thing flops. Oh my gosh, if like my event that I planned, like, oh, I literally would start crying on the spot. Like, and I like wouldn't show my face in public ever again. Like, if I were to show my face like in front of all those people ever again, if it flops, like, then I would show up with a paper bag around my face the entire time. If I can't go to that extreme, then I will at least miss school for like a few days to a week to recover. Violet is in charge of entertainment. Zoe is in charge of setup. Chloe is in charge of decorations. Theo is in charge of cleanup. Everyone wanted me to do publicity so I can make some really cool posters. However, we still needed someone to be in charge of food, and about 24 more people to help. That's when I came up with the brilliant idea to place a new sign-up sheet on the bulletin board right outside the office to try to recruit more volunteers. Some of the jocks and CCPs are so immature. I'm pretty sure it's just Mackenzie and her friend Jessica, to be honest. I feel like the rest of the CCPs don't really give a fuck. They're just there. But here it is. We don't need your help, Halloween Dance Committee, and yeah, they just vandalized it. Good news is that we got one new volunteer, Jenny Chen. I suggested that everyone ask a friend or two to help out since we are super desperate for people. Brandon stopped by again to take our official Halloween Dance Committee picture for the yearbook. So cute! Oh my gosh, and Violet is in a wheelchair. I didn't know that. Oh, I see. So cute. After our meeting was over, I planned to surprise Chloe and Zoe with the exciting news that Brandon asked me to the dance. So I guess that means we're official. I had been dying to tell them since yesterday, but I was waiting for the perfect moment. I was all set to break the news when we saw their crushes, Jason and Ryan, in the library flirting with two CCP girls. If Chloe and Zoe had been wondering if those two guys were going to ask them to the dance, they definitely got an answer. A big fat no. I couldn't believe that Jason and Ryan asked two cheerleaders, Sasha and Taylor, to the dance right in front of Chloe and Zoe like that. Well, maybe not exactly in front of them since the three of us were kind of spying on them through the bookshelves, but still. It was suddenly very obvious to me that the 2 hours Jason and Ryan had spent dancing with Chloe and Zoe at Mackenzie's party meant nothing at all. Those guys had tossed them away like two used pieces of Kleenex and asked CCP girls to the dance. Honestly, it's kind of giving. You guys know the meme, like from Toy Story 3? Was it Toy Story 3? No. Toy Story 2, Toy Story 3, I forgot which one. The one where Andy's throwing Woody away and he's just like, I don't want to play with you anymore. That's how Jason and Ryan felt after they were done with Chloe and Zoe, after they were done dancing. Like, they were like, yeah, we don't need you bitches anymore. Chloe and Zoe were heartbroken, but they said having a supportive BFF like me made it a lot easier to deal with the emotional wretchedness of their failed romances. After that, there was no way I could bring myself to tell them about Brandon and me going to the dance together. That's what my ex said to me. Please. I felt so sorry for them. But I've also got my own problems to worry about. I've been so obsessed with the Halloween dance that I totally forgot we were having a geometry test today. The teacher gave us a complicated problem, and we had exactly 45 minutes to find X, Y, and Z. At first, I just stared at the page and started to panic. Then I realized I was making the problem way more complicated than it really was. I must have turned into a math genius or something, because suddenly it was like I totally understood what I was supposed to do. I ended up completing the test in no time at all. Then I took a short nap while the other slowpokes tried to finish before the time was up. When everyone was finally done, the teacher collected our tests, graded them, and handed them back to us. I took one look at mine and was absolutely combaffulated, which, by the way, means confused, baffled, and frustrated. And she got a big fat F on that geometry test. That's so real, though. I suck at math, too. Like, I don't know what it is about me, but I'm, like, really good at, like, when it comes to English and reading, like, I'm good at memorizing that stuff. I'm good at memorizing, like, text and stuff like that, and analyzing text. But when it comes to memorizing formulas, analyzing formulas, my brain does not want to process numbers at all. And I don't understand why. I don't understand why my brain's like that, guys. And I hate it so much. My brain set me up to fail. That's when I totally lost it and yelled at my teacher, "Excuse me, but what's with all the red ink? It looks like you had a really bad nosebleed and used my geometry test as a tissue or something." But I just said that inside my head, so nobody else heard it but me. Although I have to admit, my geometry teacher wasn't the first person to criticize my math skills. Last year, I signed up to be a math tutor for 6th graders. I was really happy because it paid a whopping $10 per hour. Honestly, back in the 2000s, that's pretty good. And if I put in 100,000 hours of tutoring by the end of the school year, I could make enough money to actually become a billionaire. And with that kind of cash, I could buy vital personal necessities like an iPhone, a designer wardrobe, extra art supplies, and a private helicopter to fly me to and from school every day. I mean, like, how cool would it be if I actually owned a helicopter? Chloe, Zoe, and I would have the best carpool in the entire school. This is them in our little helicopter. And Mackenzie and the rest of the CCPs would be super jealous of us. Anyway, my first week as a math tutor went really well. I was going to love my exciting new life as a self-made millionaire. Then, just her making a ton of money as a tutor. Like, girl, if only you knew the reality of how much tutors are actually getting paid and how much hours they actually work, which is not a lot. Unfortunately, when everyone got their math homework back, the complaints started to pour in. I felt really horrible about the whole thing, so I tried to say something really positive that would help rebuild their shattered self-esteems. It's her trying to console them. Well, let's look at the bright side. F also stands for fantastic, fabulous, fashionable, and, friendly? But I don't think my positive outlook on the situation made anyone feel better. So I resigned from my tutoring position and refunded all the money I had been paid. mainly because it was the right thing to do. Plus, I'm very allergic to angry mobs. OMG, I had such a severe reaction, I thought I was going to have to call an ambulance or something. Oh wow, look at this. Thank goodness my geometry teacher drops our lowest test score before she calculates our final math grade for the semester. I love teachers and professors that do that. They can drop your lowest test score. That's literally God. So whenever teachers do that, that's so they immediately get more respect in my books if they do that, because it's a fucking struggle out here. You never know what the life circumstances are, you know? But still, if my parents found out I just failed my geometry test, they're going to kill me. Frowny face. Friday, October 25th. Arg! I'm so furious with Mackenzie Hollister, I could literally just spit. Not only did she ruin the chances of school having a dance by quitting at the last minute, but she made sure everything was left in total chaos. I had no idea the situation was so bad until I asked each committee member to present a status report at our meeting this morning. Zoe went first. She said Mackenzie had arranged for the parents of some of the CCPs to cover the expense of having the dance at the same country club as her birthday party. However, when Chloe called to find out the setup time, she was told that our reservation for the dance had been cancelled by the previous chairperson. Since the CCPs were no longer invited with the dance, or no longer involved with the dance, their parents were no longer paying for it to be held at the country club, which meant we didn't have a location for the dance, sad face. That's when I suggested that Zoe ask Principal Winston about using the gym or the cafeteria, but Zoe said she already checked. The cafeteria wasn't available because the Junior League was having a UNICEF fundraiser, and the gym wasn't available because the floor was scheduled to be refinished for basketball season. Basically, we don't have a place for the dance, and we don't have any money to pay for a place for the dance. That's the end of my report. Any questions? Zoe said, and collapsed into her seat. Nobody had any questions, which, by the way, was a good thing, because Zoe was not in a very good mood right then. I thank Zoe for sharing her very thorough and informative report. Violet's report for the entertainment committee was next. She said the band for the dance had also been cancelled by the previous chairperson. The band was no longer available, but their manager was giving us a full refund in 10 days. So far, I haven't found any bands that are available next week or willing to work for free, which means that we don't have any music for the dance. I thanked Violet for sharing her very thorough and informative report. It was the same story with decorations and food. Chloe said that the order for Halloween decorations had been cancelled, and Jenny said that the caterer had been cancelled, and both Chloe and Jenny were expecting refunds after the dance. Theo added if there was a dance, he was definitely willing to clean up after it. I had my entire reputation on the line as chairperson of the Halloween dance, but thanks to Mackenzie, we had no location, no band, no decorations, and no food. And to ensure that the dance was a total flop, she had arranged it so we wouldn't have a single dime to pay for a location, band, decorations, or food. We took a vote and it was a unanimous decision. The Halloween dance was officially cancelled. It got really sad and quiet in the room, and I felt like crying. Even though all of this wasn't our fault, I couldn't help but feel like we let down the entire school. The worst part was that I was the one stuck with announcing the bad news to the student body, which I decided to put off until Monday. Very soon, the black slime mode in the locker room shower was going to be more popular than me. Mrs. All the slime modes calling her insults. not the mold even trashing and dogging on her. After school, my dad told me to take care of the leaves in the backyard. I was supposed to rake, and Brianna was supposed to put them in plastic trash bags. I hate having to do chores with Brianna, sad face. It took me hours to get those leaves into a big pile, and Brianna was no help whatsoever. Then it's just basically she'll clean up the leaves and then Brianna just falls back in them all over again. Yeah, that would be so annoying. I'm actually like the youngest sibling in my family, and honestly, I'm really grateful for that. I feel like I would not be able to stand having anyone younger than me. Yeah, my older brothers are better than me because I would not have standed having like like a younger sibling. I don't know. Knowing me and my personality, I don't think I would have handled it well. Thanks to Brianna, I ended up with leaves, twigs, and other crud stuck in my hair. I actually looked like I had a new afro hairstyle or something. I was so mad. I wanted to stuff her inside a trash bag and set her out the curb to be hauled away with the leaves. This is her putting into her trash bag. Hey, who turned off the lights? But of course, you can't do that kind of stuff to your little sister or brother, even when they really deserve it. Plus, it probably won't go over that well with your parents. Why was I not born an only child? Frowny face. Saturday, October 26th. I have a terrible headache, and I've been feeling super depressed all day. Sad face. I've pretty much given up on the Halloween dance. Short of a major miracle, it's not going to happen. Plus, I have more important things to worry about. Like, for example, my nutty sister Brianna. Her fairy phobia seems to be growing worse. I think Mom and Dad should seriously consider getting her into some type of counseling or therapy. Every single night, for the past week, Brianna has woken me up to go to the bathroom with her because she's afraid. The fact that she was waking me up in the middle of the night wasn't the thing that was really bothering me. It was how she was waking me up that was driving me nuts. I guess it's just like her poking on her face until she wakes up. Like I told you guys, like I could never be an older sibling. I don't think I could take it. I considered myself very lucky that Brianna hadn't poked my eye out yet. So I did what any perfectly normal, sleep-deprived, raving maniac would do in my situation. I promised Brianna I'd get rid of the tooth fairy so she could start going to the bathroom by herself. Then I could start sleeping nights again. So, in the wee hours of the morning, Brianna and I snuck downstairs to the kitchen so we could make up a special spray that would keep the tooth fairy away. Nikki's homemade fairy repellent. 1 cup of bottled spring water, 3/4 cup vinegar, a 1/2 cup of strained tuna fish oil, 1/2 cup of strained sardine oil, 1 teaspoon of ground garlic, and a teaspoon of onion powder. Pour the ingredients into a bottle and shake vigorously for 1 minute or until mixed. For best results, spray liberally in areas where fairy is not wanted. Will repel fairies and most flying insects for 23 years. Excess can be refrigerated and stored up for up to 7 days for use as a zesty vinaigrette salad dressing. Okay, I admit, I just made up the recipe right there on the spot to trick Brianna into believing the fairy repellent would actually work. I poured the liquid into an empty spray bottle, and it actually looked pretty real. The only small problem was that the spray smelled a lot like a dead walrus on a hot summer day in Phoenix, Arizona. Brianna was nervous about the whole thing and was afraid the fairy might get mad at us if I sprayed her. Kinda like that time Dad sprayed those hornet wasps when they chased them around the yard for 5 minutes until he hid behind some garbage cans. It was my brilliant idea for me to wear protective gear. I didn't have a choice but to play along to get Brianna to believe the fairy spray would actually work. After rummaging through her toy box, Brianna handed me her blue plastic diving mask with a snorkel attached. Then she said it would help keep the spray out of my eyes and prevent the fairy from gouging them out if she got, really violent. Although, to be honest, I was more worried about Brianna gouging my eyes out than some fairy. Then Brianna gave me her toy tennis racket as a busted string to use as a fairy swatter. And that's her tooth fairy extermination equipment. Unfortunately, as soon as I put on the face mask, it started to fog up. I was having a hard time breathing through that snorkel. I felt like the Sprayernator. I remember this image so vividly in my childhood because I think I either had this book or I borrowed this book from someone. And it was one of like the books I remember vividly more. I remember this drawing for her pajamas and in her extermination gear specifically, like vividly from memory. I sprayed Brianna's bed, desk, lamp, and chair with the fairy repellent. Then I sprayed behind her curtains and inside her toy box. I was just about to call it a night when Brianna started pulling stuff out from under her bed so I could spray under there. Then she began tossing junk out of her closet so I could spray in there too. And she insisted that I spray her Hello Kitty backpack, Barbie CD player, and Tickle Me Elmo doll, just to be safe. I tried to convince Brianna that she had absolutely nothing to worry about, because if the Tooth Fairy was in fact hanging around her room, she was probably totally dripping in stink by now. That poor fairy was going to have to rush back to Fairyland and soak in a tub of Mr. Bubbles, tomato juice, and Lysol disinfectant for at least a week. Then, the stinky Tooth Fairy. Oh my god, what is this stinky stuff? It smells like a dead walrus. I'm out of here. But Brianna started whining really loud and saying we needed to spray her sock and underwear drawer. I was like, shh, you better quiet down before you wake up Mom and Dad, or we'll both be in big trouble. Soon, the spray bottle started making gurgling sounds because it was empty. This is her, like, fumigating her room with this stinky spray stuff. I was trying to get out the last few drops when suddenly the doorknob clicked and the bedroom door slowly opened. Brianna and I both stared at the door and then at each other. I was like, what the? Oh no, it's the fairy! Brianna stuttered in horror. Then she dived into her closet and slammed the door behind her. Unfortunately, it wasn't the fairy. I almost wish it had been. Instead, it was Mom and Dad. And I could tell that they were not happy. But what really weirded me out was that my dad's right eye started twitching. And then this is the shot of them walking in. I guess that it was probably because the room reeked of sardines, tuna fish, and vinegar. Okay, I can understand why my parents might have been a little upset. It was 2 a.m. and we had just totally trashed Brianna's room and sprayed enough repellent to fumigate 2 small, very smelly, fly-infested pig farms. And that's when it occurred to me that, just maybe, I had taken the whole fairy prank thing a bit too far. To make matters worse, I think the spray was starting to make me feel lightheaded and dizzy. Or maybe I was suffering from oxygen deprivation due to breathing through that snorkel for 15 continuous minutes. I thought about hiding the bottle of fairy repellent and the toy tennis racket behind my back and trying to act natural. As natural as I could, considering the fact that I was in my pajamas wearing a blue plastic diving mask with a snorkel. Unfortunately, that snorkel thingy made my voice and breathing just sound like Darth Vader's, but with a really wicked lisp. Hi, Dad. Hi, Mom. Tiu. What up? I'm really very sorry I woke you up. Tiu, I was just working on my thigh project and Brianna's room got a little bit messy. Tiu. Look, I am your father. Tiu. Lucky for me, Mom and Dad laughed at my joke. Then I explained that I was just testing out a new homemade insect repellent and vinaigrette, salad dressing, and air freshener called Sardine Summer Splash. Thank you so much for the follow. You're so hot and sexy. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And that it was an extra credit homework assignment for gym class. An extra credit is a good thing. When Brianna came crawling out of the closet, I knew it was dead meat. I was going to be grounded forever if she spilled about my little prank. But she totally backed me up and told Mom and Dad she helped me make a special spray to get rid of a little pest in her room. Thank goodness she didn't tell them that the pest was the tooth fairy. My parents just assumed it was a bug or something and believed the whole story. I just hope Brianna has finally gotten over her fairy phobia. One thing's for sure. It'll be really nice to start sleeping again without having to worry about waking up to find one of my eyeballs lying on my pillow looking at me. Ew, how gross would that be? Know what's on the menu today? Me and you. If I had like a redeem or a soundtrack that played the little audience laugh track that plays in like Nickelodeon and Disney Channel shows, I would have played that. I would have played it. Gave me quite the chuckle. Tickled me quite pink, as you guys can see. Sunday, October 27th. It's the wee hours of the morning and I'm so exhausted I can hardly keep my eyes open. Mrs. Hargrove stopped by this evening to drop off the face painting supplies for the ballet class Halloween party next Thursday. She also gave me a big garbage bag that contained a super cute costume. She said her niece bought it especially for me to wear to the party and they just knew the kids were going to love it. That's when I started to get this really bad feeling about Mrs. Hargrove's niece. I was like, oh, by the way, I don't think you ever told me your niece's name. Since she goes to WCD, I probably know her. Actually, she's one of your good friends, Mackenzie Hollister. She said you guys have lockers right next to each other and you came to her birthday party last week. Mackenzie? I gulped. For a split second, it felt like I was going to lose the meatloaf I had eaten for dinner. Yeah. I guess you could say Mackenzie and I are really good locker neighbors. I vaguely remembered overhearing Mackenzie mention an aunt, Clarissa, back in September. My head was spinning as I thanked Mrs. Hargrove and trudged upstairs to my room. Why in the world had Mackenzie told her aunt I was the best artist in the school? Especially after she compared my artwork to poodle vomit. And why had she suggested that I paint faces for the ballet class Halloween party? One thing was very clear to me. I smelled a rat. A really big, stinky rat. Literally. Inside the garbage bag was the most hideous looking rat costume I had ever seen in my entire life. And it stunk so bad that even her poster looked that way. And it totally reeked of sweaty armpits, stale pizza, and Lysol disinfectant spray. I almost gagged. I guess that the costume was probably the mascot for some popular restaurant for kids. But it smelled so bad that customers had complained and the manager had thrown it away. Dude, what if in actuality it was like a Springtrap costume or something? I don't know. Because, like, canonically, Springtrap smells like shit, so not too far off, am I right? Springtrap took some notes from Dork Diaries, I guess. Then, after it had been buried in a dumpster full of garbage for weeks, some high school kid found it and sold it on eBay for $3 to fund his iTunes addiction. Mackenzie bought it and then gave it to her aunt to give to me. Sometimes I wonder if I'm the only person at my school who believes Satan's kid sister has a locker right next to mine. Anyway, I started feeling sorry for myself. While most students in our city would be attending their school's Halloween dance, I was going to be stuck at the Westchester Petting Zoo wearing a stink rat costume and entertaining a bunch of bratty little ballerinas. Springtrap was Mackenzie all along, right? Like she was the wrong, actually. I mean, it makes sense considering how much havoc she likes to wreak. Or reap. Or reap. Like, yeah, wreak. I had to think about my wording for a second. I think I'm getting a little bit eepy. I think the eepiness is kind of hitting me. I've been sleeping a little bit earlier lately, so I guess it's when I am. So I think I definitely have held out a lot longer than I did yesterday, which I'm proud of myself for. So yay, pat on the back for that. How depressing. I felt like crying just thinking about it. While everyone else was having fun, I'd be having a boo-hoo at the zoo. Frowny face. My life was so pathetic, it made me wanna. Suddenly, the craziest idea popped into my head. I tried really hard to ignore it, hoping it would just crawl back into the deep recesses of my brain or wherever these crazy ideas come from. Then I thought, why not? What do I have to lose? I rushed over to my computer, went online, and did a search for local Halloween haunted houses. Lucky for me, the place I was interested in was open on Sundays until 7 p.m. I called and spoke with the manager of the facility and explained my situation. He was in complete agreement with my plan as long as we secured permission from Principal Winston. Since the future of our dance was in limbo, I placed the guy on hold and called Principal Winston's home number, hoping that the three of us could speak together in a conference call. I started by apologizing profusely for disrupting Principal Winston at his home on a Sunday evening, and explained that I had an urgent matter to discuss. However, it took me a while to convince him that I wasn't a prank caller, and that the manager of a haunted house really needed to speak with him ASAP regarding a school function. Within 10 minutes, all the details had been hammered out, and Principal Winston gave me permission to move forward with my plan. I was ecstatic and started to do my Snoopy happy dance again. Next, I emailed everyone on the dance committee. Hi everyone, meet me in the library on Monday at 7 a.m. for an emergency meeting. Be ready to rock, Nikki. Then I ran downstairs and raided the refrigerator. I'm pulling an all-nighter and need every ounce of energy I can get my hands on to stay awake. Why? Ugh, girl, actually same. She's like me for real, trying to pull an all-nighter. I'm so bad at actually pulling a full all-nighter though. I always end up napping somewhat in the late afternoon type-ish, and then wake up sometime late in the evening. Every single time. I don't know, I really like getting my sleep whenever I need it, you know? Why? Because the WCD Halloween dance is back on with a vengeance, due to the pure genius of one very fierce chairperson, namely me. My new idea for our Halloween dance is totally crazy, but in a good way. OMG, it's almost 6 a.m. and our meeting is in 1 hour. Gotta go shower and eat breakfast. Smiley face. Okay, guys, we're gonna stop at page 121. As much as I would love to continue reading and finishing it, I think I am getting a little tired, so I'll be continuing this either tomorrow or on Sunday, guys. So please wait for me till then. But I'm glad you guys really liked it. I'm glad you guys are invested in it. And I'm really happy whether we just met today during the stream or whether you're here the entire time. I'm happy you guys we got to spend this time together, and that I was able to read my childhood favorite series to you guys. I will be continuing doing this weekly reading every single week. It won't always be Dork Diaries. I have a variety of old nostalgic books I do want to kind of plow through and rotate throughout every week, most likely going to be on Fridays, and potentially also on other days on the weekend as well, but it would have to be I don't know, it's either random or I don't know, either most likely going to be on Saturdays though, Fridays, Saturdays if it does extend to 2 days. But this is going to be a regular thing, so if you guys do like this type of content, I really appreciate it if you followed, and if you guys are interested in seeing any updates from me, I totally encourage you guys and recommend you guys to join the Discord, as well as following me on all of my socials, because that's where I'm going to be updating the most on when my next streams will be asking questions on what content I should do next, etc, etc. So yeah, stay safe guys, stay hydrated, please take care of your guys' selves. Let's find, before we go, let's find someone cool and sexy to raid. Let's see. Ooh, hold the phone. Yanni, Vampire Yanni, my love, is streaming right now.
I love
also,
you.
thank you so much for the follow. You're so honey, sexy. Thank you. Alright, we're gonna be rating my lovely friend Yanni. Alright, guys. Alright, guys. I'll see you guys later, okay? Thank you guys so much for tuning in with me. I'll see you guys later, okay? Alright. Bye, guys. Bye bye.